Me, yes. Jesus.
Have you been on this podcast before?
I did it once.
Okay.
And I got chased out.
Okay.
With a badger.
Okay.
You threw badgers at me.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
All right,
okay.
good. That's what we do when somebody is on the podcast for the first time.
Yeah, of course.
All right, well, welcome back.
Thank you. It's been a hot fucking minute.
I've got the badgers. Well, it's been a hot fucking minute since you've been on the podcast. It's been like a hot fucking nanosecond since you've been over at my house recording.
Been over here a lot in the last couple of days.
But welcome back, and welcome back to the audience of the Rage Select podcast. Here on Rage Select, and I'm Jeff. And Matt, we have one rule for this week.
What's the rule?
No sick burns on Jeff.
Oh, is it now?
Yes, because I got sick burns earlier this week when I was cooking a steak and splashed a bunch of grease on my arm.
Yeah, you scabbing.
Yeah, I'm
scabbing a little bit.
I'm pretty horrible looking right now.
Dude,
I've got like Gorbachev head on my arm.
People are going to be like, "Oh shit, what happened? Did you get like captured by insurgents and did they burn you with cigarettes and stuff?" You're going to be like, "Yeah, that's what happened."
Yeah, that's what happened.
It's a way cooler story.
I wouldn't give up the secrets. I wouldn't give up the nuclear launch codes to Rage Select. Even though
we have nuclear launch codes. Shit, I need to come to the meetings more often.
They're at the back of the badger cage. You just have to go through the badgers.
The badgers. No, my one weakness, fucking badgers.
Why do you think I have a box of rabid badgers here in the studio?
Oh shit, they're rabid? You didn't tell me that.
Well, you
get shots.
I told everybody who comes to my house, you get your shots first, then you're on Rage Select. It's not my fault if that went to your junk folder, okay? So
I mean, it's not Godzilla related, so I didn't read it.
I can get that. Well, speaking of things that should go to the junk folder, before we get into, and we've got a lot of news this week.
God, do we ever?
It was Gamescom, and I even threw away a lot of Gamescom. I was just like,
shit, really?
Well, there's too much of this. It would be a 2-hour show, and like, do people really need us to go over? There's a new SNK Heroines trailer.
Oh yeah, that fucking game.
And it's like this one is nothing like the last one was like, here's Terry Bogard. This one's just like, look, there's tits in here. And I'm like, yeah, I knew there were tits in there.
As long as there's tits.
That appears to be that game's complete motto. SNK Heroines, at least there's some tits in here.
That needs to be the pull quote on the back of the box.
Yep.
I'd be down for that. But what's garbage? What are you throwing in the junk folder?
I tried watching some of that new Disenchanted show.
I did too.
And I couldn't. I got to about episode 3 and went,
wow, episode 3.
Actually, I think it might have been 4, where I don't even remember what episode it was. Is that a good sign?
No.
Where I was like, boy, this is mediocre.
I didn't even get past. I mean, I literally got, I would say, a couple minutes into that first episode. I got to when we were in the forest with Elfo.
Right.
We were introducing to Elfo. I was listening to the song. Like, I already actually skipped through most of the sequence with in the bar.
Oh yeah.
Because I was just like, wow, this just keeps going and there's no jokes.
Well, there weren't any gags. It was just like a bar fight.
Yeah, it was just a bar fight. There wasn't like anything. The fucking bar scene in Tangled is a million times more entertaining than this.
It's strange to me because like Futurama can do, or like Matt Groening's shows can do action, at least a little bit, that I'm interested in. And here was just like, this is just so, it was almost like they took the pass that didn't have any of the jokes in,
right,
and then they did that, and they needed like 4 more passes of like, you know what, I would have loved like a half dozen fart jokes, like, because I'll laugh at a fart joke. I'm not, see, I don't have my pinky out. Like,
this is why you got to see Teen Titans go to the movies. But anyway,
no,
it's like, oh, come on. You don't want to hear Raven and Beast Boy and Starfire make a continuous running poop joke for a solid 30 seconds?
No, I'm afraid.
Right, well, anyway,
I do not. I'm not interested in that.
You want to hear somebody say that Robin had explosive diarrhea?
No,
okay.
No, I'm not interested in that either.
Anyway, but you're right, though. You're right.
It just didn't seem to have, like, I went back and I watched the first episode of Futurama. That episode of the show has got a lot of jokes in it. They're very funny.
Yeah.
I mean, right before the title sequence, you've got Fry waking up and, oh, my family, all my friends are dead. Woohoo! Right?
Yeah.
Right. And I love the way that whole episode is
robosexuals.
It's cyclical in that he starts out upset at his life of his being a delivery boy, and at the very end he's like,
I'm a delivery boy.
A delivery boy, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just a really solid. I don't think that any of the characters, the Lucy is like Bender, but not as good.
Is her name Lucy? I thought it was Beanie or Teeny or something.
The demon.
Oh, Lucy is the demon.
I think that's what the
I
name
didn't even
of
get to the demon.
Which, seemed like Bender, but worse. Like
Less interesting.
Like a demon that's just real laid back about trying to make you do evil, and it's like, well,
where's is that supposed to be funny?
I don't know.
You could find a gag there, but
Michael told me it got kind of went off the rails in the last like 4 episodes, but I'm like, I don't know if I want to watch all that. Like, I got Octopath Traveler, man. I got like Dead Cells.
Well, you and I have talked. Yeah, you and I have talked about this in the past about how like it takes you like 1 episode, and I'm the same way where it's like, look, this show has got to grab me. I've got shit to do.
Right. Well, so on the opposite end of the spectrum, I was looking for a new anime to watch, and I loaded up Parasite the Maxim.
Yeah.
And at the end of the first episode, I was like, okay, I'm in. Like, I'm in. Let's go, And that show, it's a little slow from time to time, but generally speaking, it moves along. It keeps my interest. I don't know. So...
It's I don't know, it's just real disappointing because I feel like the graining camp has fallen off.
Yeah.
And if this is your triumvirate. It's like, okay, you had The Simpsons, which The Simpsons is what it is now. Like everyone who made the show great has left it, or are not operating on the same level they were. The Futurama had its heyday, had a lot of really great stuff in it. I feel like they ended when they should have ended because they came back for a season or something, right?
They had the movies, and then that led it back into, I think it was like 1 or 2 more seasons, and then they ended it up.
Right.
And that's fine. They could have ended it at the end of the original run, which was great, but I liked the movies, and I liked the show that came afterwards. I thought it was fine all the way from beginning to end.
And it's like, okay, now you're gonna. This is your third big shot, and you're gonna completely just. We're gonna have a lack of effort for a season.
Well, but what's weird about it though is that like all like the backgrounds and like the production of the animation is all really good. It's just the writing, like the writing just isn't doing it for me.
I don't know. I mean, like I said, I don't even think I got halfway through the first episode, and I was just like, I don't give a shit.
I don't know.
I've got other shit to do.
Maybe people are, if you're liking it, again, I'm always interested to know. I want to reiterate after you and I playing Shenmue this week.
Oh boy.
Well, the thing is, I don't want to I wanted to like Disenchantment, right? The reason that I'm sitting here talking about it is because I was like, ooh, yeah, can't wait for that to come out. And then I watched it and I was like, oh,
well,
okay.
Our frustration is coming from a sense of disappointment because we want to. You and I have talked about this 100 times. We don't want to hate stuff.
Fuck no.
No, I mean, the world sucks as it is.
Life is a boring, monotonous place, and I need things to distract me from it constantly. And I go through them until they're gone.
Oh, God. Well, thankfully, I don't know. I feel like there's some other interesting stuff on the horizon that, if you like Disenchantment, great. Tell us why.
Yeah.
And otherwise, sorry.
Yeah. Anyway,
I got better shit to do.
I'll tell you what a better thing to do is.
What's a better thing to do?
You could be watching the brand new Overwatch character short, Shooting Star, starring everybody's favorite
She's
gamer.
a professional gamer.
Yep, Diva.
Yep. We get to meet her little boy toy or whatever he is.
Yep. Oh my God. Okay. Well, let's circle back around to that.
All right.
This is pretty. I feel like this is pretty stock Overwatch fare.
Sure. It's kind of setting a precedent for the character.
Right. I mean, like this one. You know what? I will say that I feel like this one may be a little bit weaker than some of the other ones because, like May. Like finding the strength to go on, like that was cool. Like Reinhardt kind of learning the lesson of sacrifice. That
Reinhardt's
was cool.
one was great.
Like Bastion showing Bastion's kind of like robot PTSD. That was kind of interesting.
That was cool.
Like even the Soldier 76 one and the Dragons one where you had a kind of a somber tone to them. I forget there was one other. There's the other one that I was forgetting that was between Reinhardt and May.
I don't remember, to be honest.
But this one was kind of like Diva. She's a hardworking mech pilot
But
watch her work hard.
She needs to ask for help, and it's kind of predictable in like
But she doesn't even really do. She doesn't really have to ask for that much help.
Yeah, he doesn't. The guy. What does the guy do? He sets the cord. Sombra. Yeah. He sets the core to overload.
Right.
And then Diva is like, "It's not fast enough." And then
jumps
Leroy's
out.
that shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's well animated. I mean, it's an Overwatch short, so it's got amazing animation, and I wouldn't be surprised if sometime in the next couple of years we get like a full on movie.
Oh, I'd be super surprised if that ever fucking happened.
You would.
Oh, I would. Well, Blizzard's been making Dynamite cinematics for like 3 decades.
Fair.
And like World of Warcraft should have been a movie in its heyday if they were going to be making movies based on Blizzard shit.
Boy, howdy, did they not fucking do that.
Yep. A good animated by Blizzard movie.
You know what I mean.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's just kind of. I mean, it's neat.
I'm not going to tell you that when I wasn't watching it, that my heart wasn't in my chest a little bit during some of this stuff. It's got good action. It's just maybe a little bit.
These things are. I'm sorry. These things are straight up from the Matrix. Can we agree on that?
Oh yes, the robots that are flying around her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was kind of actually curious because, like, are those Omnics?
They called them
something else, but I don't know if that was
Shin
just
somethings or Jingens or something.
I'm sure that it explains it in the comic book, but I'm not going to read the comic book. But
yeah, I don't.
Anyway, it's definitely worth. I mean, like, here's the thing. Go back to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 7 minutes long, and it's on YouTube, and you can watch it now for free. So, like,
if you're a fan, you're going to watch it. You probably already watched it.
Already watched it.
Yeah.
But before we move on from it, because we do have some other Overwatch news. So, I watched it and I was like, wow, that was cool. I liked it. It's pretty cool. And then I went into the comment section. And the YouTube comment section cannot get over the fact that Dude Bro got quote friend zoned by Diva even after he fucking helped her out and with her mech problem.
Is that seriously the conversation we're having in 2018? Is that people are still,
of course,
they're still saying that he didn't get rewarded with pussy for helping his friend?
I mean, well, here's the thing. I mean, like, was there any romantic tension between the two of them? Because I didn't think there was. That dude could be gay. She could be gay. She could have a boyfriend. He could have a boyfriend. Both of them could just be more interested in dogs or robots or like squid porn or something.
Yeah, I mean, if this is any indication. I mean, yeah, that's come on. Here's the thing. I'm saying it. Because I'm saying it, people are going to be like, well, well, I guess we just can't have heterosexual relationships anymore.
I mean,
fuck you.
She agreed to like get him into the restaurant at the end. Maybe they're going to go on a date. Like just because like at the end of this, she didn't like peel her costume off and start doing one of them Overwatch porns from the internet.
With that. Can we do that? Can we have that, please?
Isn't there? There's like a
let's watch one of those.
There's a whole section on like Pornhub, right, for dem Overwatch pornos, right? You just go search dem Overwatch pornos, and then you get a just like.
I'm with you.
Okay.
It's just. Like guys, there's a reason why I feel like I've talked about this before.
This is not. I mean, this is just like a smattering.
I know. The reason why I feel like the reason why we're not seeing a whole lot of the guy gets the girl at the end or the big dramatic kiss anymore is because Hollywood and the audiences at large have realized that. Fast tracking a relationship is neither satisfying nor realistic. And even from a dramatic narrative sense, it's one of the reasons why, there's not really any romance in The Force Awakens.
Okay.
As a shorthand example.
I will push back on that just a little bit. What I guess I'm trying to say is that it's a 7-minute short, and most of that is about blowing up robots. Like, the two of them obviously have some kind of relationship.
Yeah.
But we don't know what kind of relationship it is. Maybe they fucking used to smash and then they broke up and now he's just like helping her out. And sometimes she gets him into like places, gets him all those free Nerf this sodas, right? Like,
I'm down with that. I mean,
who the fuck knows is the question of just like, to me, the question is not necessarily whether you can't have the guy get the girl at the end of the thing. It's that
That's not what this is about.
Well, it's that this is 7 minutes long and doesn't lay any of the groundwork for that, and that people instantly jump to the just like, so why aren't they fucking making out at the end? And it's like,
why is she's just sucking on his ball sack? That's what I want specifically.
I mean, if that Overwatch porn that I've seen on the Pornhub is any indication,
that there on the Pornhub and such,
I don't even think Diva's much into dudes. Apparently, she likes like Mercy with a big dick.
No, Mercy likes Farrah, and Mercy has the big dick.
Most of the ladies in Overwatch apparently have huge dicks. So just
huge pendulous swinging cocks.
Just don't look it up. Don't look it up.
No, look it up. It's really it's fucking great.
Hey, let's move on to some gaming related stuff.
Cool.
So we also got a trailer for Busan.
Yes,
the new map, which I apparently closed
Space
my tabs.
Korea.
Yes, which has the mecha launching station.
Which leads me to wonder, not to interrupt, but leads me to wonder, are those characters going to appear at some point? These other mech pilots?
I would highly doubt it.
I get it. We don't want to have clones of Diva, but
I mean, I guess we do have Brigitte, who's technically Torbjorn's daughter and is like Reinhardt's squire. So there are some kind of like, Brigitte's moveset and Reinhardt's moveset are kind of similar in a way. Mm-hmm. So I guess it's possible.
They're pairing Diva with Brigitte.
Okay.
And she has a pendulous swinging dick.
I don't need to know who has a dick in the Overwatch porn. All right.
Yeah, sure you do.
Regular porn is fine with me.
How do you know what hashtags to look for, Jeff?
I don't look for hashtags.
Everyone watching this,
I call them number signs. I'm 40 years old. I don't want to know
Fill
anything.
the comments with don't do that. Don't do that.
No.
I'm resenting
I'm not going to fucking moderate the comment section. I already don't read the comments. I don't have to go in there just delete people's hot links to porno.
Please don't.
Busan.
Fucking do it. Yeah?
No, don't do it. Busan. The map has it seems like a temple, and then like the
temple's got a sorry, go ahead. I'm
mecha staging area, and then like a downtown,
right?
As a control map. And the only thing I have to say is the downtown looks a little bit like Hanamura, and then just like
I thought the temple looked like Hanamura. Which is Hanamura? Hanamura, the temple?
Both of them. It starts in a downtown and then goes to a temple. So,
okay, got it.
But I do think that it's interesting because, like, when we got Eichenwald and when we got Ice Station Zero, like that one of the places in the middle of those maps seems to be like Diva's room. And so a lot of times I feel like there's little story details in there that you can go like suss out.
I appreciated that when we were watching the trailer, you see a little fighting game, and it's very specifically one's a Diablo character, and I think the other one's like a
Space Marine, StarCraft?
Yeah, Space Marine, yeah. And it was like 2D like Street Fighter style, which I thought was kind of cute.
You obviously don't play that much Overwatch because that game is literally on the arcades in Hanamura, level where the attackers start out.
I played Overwatch for maybe a month and just moved on. It was fun for when I played it. I played a lot of Genji. And a lot of Genji and Farrah, and then I really started playing Mercy a fair bit, and then after a while I was just like, I'm moving on.
Okay.
I'm not a multiplayer guy. I'm just 5 games a year, bro.
You do, Matt Frank.
I know it's a good game.
But before we move away, we also got something that by the time this podcast is up, they will have actually shown it because Gamescom isn't over yet. But Lego, of all places, teased a thing where they had what looked like a character select from Overwatch screen with a bunch of little Lego minifigs that look like Genji and McCree and Mercy and Anna and Soldier 76 and stuff.
Wow,
So
I didn't know about this.
I bet there's going to be some of them, they're Overwatch Legos.
I bet people are going to, that'll be interesting to see what kind of sets they come up with.
I think it'd be great if they did level sets, right? The small level sets. Right?
That would be fun.
A little thing that you can just put on your desk and then have a bunch of little Legos in there.
Have a little Lego Hanamura.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I dig it.
No word yet on what genitalia is on which Lego characters.
I mean, the beauty about Lego is you can add your own.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next up on this doesn't have a trailer, but there is some new information from Gamescom. Cyberpunk 2077.
All right.
Got some info from Gamescom.
And this is CD Projekt RED, right?
CD Projekt RED.
Yep.
This is the new Cyberpunk. We got basically 4 new screenshots, which all look really good. I'm starting to think. Apparently, there was a new updated demo that journalists got to see that has some new information in it. It was apparently the guy character V, because previously it was the lady version of V. There were some very small details in there, like apparently character can be like gender fluid, and so the mission woke up but the mission starts with you like waking up in bed and there's a dude there regardless of whether you're playing as the dude character or the lady character.
Awesome.
I don't know anything else about that, but in any case, everything that's being said looks pretty good so far. We've got, like I said, we do have 4 new screenshots. All these screenshots look really nice.
Sure.
I think that people are getting a little bit too wound up because, well, there was a report that came out of Gamescom when they talked to CD Projekt RED about this, kind of asking how done is it. And CD Projekt RED said, you can technically play the game from beginning to end right now. Like, the spine of the game is done.
Oh, okay.
But I think that what they're working on is polishing and then like side quests and radial content and stuff like that. That's all kind of coming out from the edge. But like, apparently the main thrust of the game is from beginning to end donezo and ready to go.
What's the release date again?
They haven't announced one yet.
Oh, they're just still talking about it.
Which is one of the problems, is because they showed that trailer at E3 and then everybody was like, when? And they're like, it's been like 5 years. We'll tell you when sometime.
We'll fucking tell you, bro. Yeah, I get that.
But which has been very frustrating for a lot of people.
Yeah.
One other frustrating thing that we have to talk about, because this is
scared, Jeff.
You should
be. Real worry, my butthole is puckered.
All right, so this is a thing that I would like to address, one, for CD Projekt Red's sake, and two...
Oh, I have a feeling I know what you're going to talk about.
For Rage Select's sake, sort of. So there was a tweet from Cyberpunk 2077 that had a picture of some people working and said, Cyberpunk 2077, hashtag Gamescom starts, hashtag E3 ended, checking Twitter. And somebody responded to that saying, in all caps, saying, I want more guys. And
sure.
the Cyberpunk 2077 official account came back and said, did you just assume their gender of the people in the picture on the thing?
I have a feeling
that didn't go over well?
Well, first of all, I want more guys. I felt like that just means I want more, guys.
Right.
But tell me, Jeff.
Okay.
Tell me what's on your mind.
No, this did not go over well.
No.
Apparently, and I just wanted to take a brief sidebar to talk about this. Apparently, saying, did you just assume somebody's gender is apparently
yes.
internet slang meant to like demean the transgender community, which I feel like you and I have used that as a joke from time to time.
I mean,
about like, did you just assume that robot's gender?
Well, yeah, or we'll say like, what is that, a boy or a girl? But
right.
That's because we're intentionally. Anyway, go ahead.
But I feel like this is something that's really strange to me. I didn't know that apparently the transgender community sees this as like a hateful meme directed against their, because I guess in their mind that question is a serious question, not to be used as a silly joke about like, can you even believe that you would? Did you just assume somebody's gender? How do you know? Hilarious!
How do you know what gender that giant fire-breathing salamander is?
How hilarious! We're in 2018. Everybody should always ask gender. Isn't this such a flipped-up backwards world? So like I. Because apparently this happened and like CD Projekt Red has apologized profusely. People are like, your apology sucks. People are like, I'm canceling my pre-order. I'm not going to play your game. Some people have used this to bring up that The Witcher 3 is apparently quote unquote problematic. Blah, blah, blah. I don't really know. All I know is that all I really wanted to do is use this to say that if I know that we have some folks that are transgender, or at least we used to, that listen. I don't know if those people are still lurking or if they've decided to stop listening. If we ever said this as a joke and you were offended, I apologize. I didn't really realize that it was being used as a as an offensive thing.
I will say the same thing. You know, I'm sorry too. I mean, Lord knows we make a lot of off-color humor. I sort of got turned off from a lot of you know me, Jeff.
I do.
You once or twice have had to take me aside and say, Matt, you dial it back a little bit.
Yeah, you won't just stop screaming butthole into the microphone.
Butthole's funny. pendulous swinging dicks.
There it is. Yeah.
But see, that's the thing, though, is that people, at least people who have been with us for a long time, know that you and I are both liberals, and but that doesn't. I'm not saying that excuses us hurting somebody's feelings. On the subject of did you just assume their gender, of that question, I'm a little more familiar with that being a meme that's basically like, because I remember getting finding a picture on Facebook or something.
Yeah.
And this picture gets used a lot on conservative social media as an anti-liberal, anti-social justice meme.
Okay.
And it's this young woman at clearly some kind of protest, and assuming her gender, I'm just saying she looks like a young woman. And
we're over in the weeds here, Matt.
Yeah, I know. She's clearly fucking furious about something,
right.
But she's got that full on, like, teeth are gritted, mouth is open, but teeth are closed, like whites of the eyes, like she is full on beast mode.
Uh-huh.
And people like to share this, and it has a caption that says, "Did you just assume my gender?"
Oh, okay.
And I think that's either where it comes from or one of the coalescing points of that. So what I'm saying is that it doesn't surprise me that has become a thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like CD Projekt Red may just not have known.
That's the impression that I get, is that first off, we're not talking about, quote, CD Projekt Red. We're talking about the person
social media
that
account.
runs the Twitter account for CD Projekt Red.
You're correct in that.
So, like, I do find it that, like, if the company just didn't apologize or didn't mum's the word or whatever, that's one thing. But, like, you got to ask yourself, how far does it need to go, right? Does, like, everybody from the company need to write a personal email expressing how sorry they were? Do you just fire their social media manager? Is that what you want? If that person apologizes, is that enough? Do they, as a Polish company, understand?
That's a good point. They probably didn't.
I don't know the answer to any of these questions. All I know is that I wanted to use it as an excuse because it was literally the first time that I'd ever seen anybody say that using that as a joke is apparently offensive to people. And there are enough fart jokes and idiot jokes in the world that I can make if anybody's ever taken offense to that, I just want to say, hey, sorry.
That's fair. That's fair. I feel like we're in an age, though, where, and then we can move on from this, but I feel like we're in an age, though, where we are at a point where we're kind of reaching peak white noise as far as social media outcries are concerned over certain. I mean, there's this giant clusterfuck. I don't want to get too deep into it, but there's been this giant clusterfuck apparently with the Voltron fan community over something that happened recently that I don't really want to get into. And what I'm saying is that I just look at this and I'm thinking, like, oh my God, it just doesn't fucking end. And I'm reminded about how, boy, I think that comment sections are over fucking rated.
Well,
except for the Rage Select comment section, you guys are okay.
In any case, I'm not sure. As always, you are free to make up your own mind, and you are free to do whatever the fuck you want to. This is I don't care. I don't read the comment section anymore, except for looking for Overwatch porn now. Apparently,
you're gonna be fucking doing it
anyway.
Yep.
From here, let's get into what I like to call too many trailers.
Too many trailers. Too many. That's a Too Many Cooks theme.
Yeah. Too many trailers. Did you know the best thing that the Too Many Cooks person has ever done? The guy that made that.
What's that?
He made an audio drama on a podcast called The Truth, called At the End of the Mall.
What?
And it's amazing. I've listened to it like 8 times.
Sounds awesome.
30-minute, like...
Truth at the End of the Mall?
No, the podcast is called The Truth. The episode is called, like, At the End of the Mall.
At the End of the Mall.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
Written by the Too Many Cooks guy, produced by... This is a podcast that just does, like, short fiction stories, audio stories.
I dig it.
Anyway, let's
trailers.
Get to the trailers, because we've got a bunch. Battlefield 5 has a trailer. This is the Company trailer, not the Bad Company 3 trailer, motherfuckers. But this is basically kind of going over the whole, like, build your squad system that was part of the opening trailer for Battlefield 5, where it's you and 3 other people, and then you can kind of customize the way that you look. They do a weird thing in here where they talk about how, like, and for the first time, you can be a class that has their own specific type of weapon. And I'm just like, you mean like every other fucking Battlefield game that's ever existed ever? Like,
okay. First of all, I have to say, I'm very personally offended.
Why?
Women can't be in war.
Lord, I should never have put these 2 stories back to back. It's my fault. It's my fault.
No, I don't know. Like, it looks neat. It's got nice graphics. I'm just like, so is that the big selling point? Is that you have like multiple classes and specializations and stuff?
No.
Oh,
I listen. I have a really apparently the. Okay.
Because this is the part of the show where Matt kind of tunes out.
Yeah, Matt was flopping around like a fish during this trailer. Just like, it's like a kid that I just put a plate of carrots in front of, just like,
I don't want it.
I don't want to. Okay, so let's get our shit together here.
Okay.
And let's do a detailed
Get
analysis.
all your shit together and put it in. Get your shit and get it together.
See, now you're just spreading the shit back out. We'll try to get it together.
Okay.
Battlefield 1 Frostbite Engine, or Battlefield 1 Frostbite Engine. Battlefield 5 Frostbite Engine.
Okay.
We've gone from World War I to World War II.
Yep.
The class-based structure was in Battlefield 1.
Okay.
They did make an allusion to that there's going to be more than just the base 4 classes, that outside of Assault, Scout, Medic, and Support, that you're going to have, that there might be more classes. It was an offhand comment that I noticed during the trailer. Who knows? It seems that you're going to be earning points to unlock weapons, you're going to power up specific weapons in certain ways. That's a little different than the customization, because the customization was very Call of Duty, where it's like, put on a scope, put on an underbarrel attachment. What type of grenade do you want, right? The main selling point here seems to be, like, have a squad, customize what your squad looks like. Because, I mean, the rest of it's just like, okay, it's a Battlefield game where you can drive tanks, fly planes, have shotguns, blow up buildings, capture the points, shoot at people. I'm like, all this has been in every Battlefield game. Like, there's no Battlefield game. It just looks slightly better, and you can have one of your squad mates be a black lady with a prosthetic arm if you want. Like,
I mean, that's neat, I guess. Cool. I've only ever played one military shooter that I actively enjoyed and actually stayed up all night and played end to end.
Was it Haze? It was Haze, wasn't it? Haze.
It was Call of Duty 4.
Okay,
it was Modern Warfare because, but that's because I really like the story. I just feel like this just kind of is, like I said, it's flopping around like a fish, because I was like, whatever. I mean, cool. I didn't know it was 2006.
Well, you got to kind of say, like, look, for the people who are into Battlefield,
if they're excited for it, that's great.
Hey, you know what? It's World War II. It's got a battle royale mode. It's got all the tanks and shit that you like.
Yeah.
You can get to shoot a bunch of nazies. You can get to fly some airplanes. You can make your shotgun look different. You can wear a wife beater in the wintertime. You can do whatever you want.
Hell yeah, let those nipples fall off. Who cares?
What I want to know is, can I have 4 prosthetic arms and legs and just be that guy from what is it, Family Guy, with all?
Oh yeah, I forget his name. Is like, no, me father was a tree.
Right.
I was thinking about the little kid from Squidbillies who had your father whittled you up some fine limbs there, Johnny.
No, I haven't never seen it.
I've been watching a lot of Squidbillies the last week.
But yeah, I mean, like, it looks fine. There ain't nothing wrong with this. The real question just is, it's kind of interesting to me because a few of these have a little, like, we have a little side quests for a few of these trailers. And this is one of them, because last week we also got a report that the Battlefield 5 pre-orders are, like, down and off, like they're depressed and, like, not what they're expecting.
Okay.
And you know what? Like, this is I don't know where to go with this, except to say, you know what? If you had a core group of dudes that didn't want to see fucking one-armed women in blue face paint in World War II, and if you pissed them off and they were decided not to pre-order your game, then, I mean, maybe that's what happens. I'm not pissed off. I don't give a shit. I like whenever a person on the internet is like, I do give a shit, I would like to cast my vote as one vote for I do not give a shit, and then we can zero each other out because I don't care.
I don't know. I feel like that's more of a. I feel like the only reason that the pre-orders will be way down is just because, like you said, it looks like every other Battlefield game.
Maybe, but the Battlefield audience, like think about Jason Murphy as a person who's just like the Battlefield audience that what likes Battlefield. I feel like they would. I mean, Battlefield 1 was very well received, as near as I can remember. So
yeah, it was.
I don't know.
I don't know. I just all I know is that if it really comes down to the actual, I mean, again, the market tends to adjust itself, and the market reflects what people want. If for not all the time, but and. I feel like if that's really if the Battlefield market is that pissed off about there being what with women folk in their game, then they can fucking have it.
Well, or it may be like Call of Duty, where it's just people are fucking sick of playing Battlefield game after Battlefield game. I mean, it's like with this one, they've literally come full circle to another World War II Battlefield game.
Sure.
So,
I mean, we'll see, I guess.
Maybe Battlefield, maybe that means that we'll get a new Battlefield Vietnam and a new Battlefield 2042, 2043, because I would be
after the Trump wars begin and then begin again. But a quick interjection about modern military strategy games. Either I or I think my brother-in-law got the most recent Call of Duty. I think it was Call of Duty 1. No.
It's Call of Duty World War II.
That's it.
Was last year.
Got that for my nephew, for my oldest nephew, and he's like 13, so he's old enough to be. He's in that perfect age demographic to be playing violent shooters. And this is my favorite ever Christmas Day quote. Hugh, you need to come. Your grandma's here. You need to come say hi to your grandma. Mom, I'm liberating France. And
I've been using that excuse since 1989. All right, Mom, I gotta save my game. Hold on.
But it was just the petulance in.
Sure. God
damn it! I'm playing a French Secret Service, a French secret agent stabbing a Nazi high-ranking officer. Yeah. I don't know. It's a really funny quote. So
the game was terrible.
Oh.
Anyway,
I wouldn't know.
Well, speaking of Call of Duty, the new Call of Duty Black Ops 4 has a PC trailer. There's not much to this trailer outside of like, hey, PC fans, here's all the things that you always demand. Uncapped frame rate, 4K resolution.
Designed for mouse and keyboard.
It says designed for mouse and keyboard, but then does that mean that the PS4 and Xbox One versions are garbage? Like that those weren't designed for it?
That guy's head exploded.
As always, you've got a trailer here which shows somebody just like kicking a lot of ass at the multiplayer. I usually die in about 1 second, so that's a thing. But I don't know. Like again, you gotta stop making that noise. They can't see the trailer.
I'm just going. Well, all you have to know is that I have a nervous tick. No, I don't know. I mean, again, it just kind of looks like another military shooter, and it's slightly more futuristic, I guess. I don't know.
It's more of a hero shooter, actually. Like each one of these people has powers.
Yeah, okay,
now.
That's right.
They have like an ultimate that they can pop.
That's fun.
It's fine. I played the. I think that the biggest thing here is that we also got
made this. Holy shit.
The Blackout, the Battle Royale open beta is happening on the September 15th.
Okay. Like I said, if you like this sort of thing, then great.
Wow, this is on the Game Trailers YouTube channel, and this thing has 915 views with 37 upvotes and 33 downvotes.
Okay.
What is it, Rage Select video? What are you guys? What are you doing?
I don't know. Right. That's interesting. From
there, we're going to move on to a little Assassin's Creed.
Oh, yeah. They had the two separate trailers, right?
Mm-hmm. Now, this maybe goes back to what we were talking about before. There is a Cassandra and Alexios cinematic trailer, which are the male and female leads in the game, and you can pick whichever one you want. These trailers are like 99% the same trailer, except when they show the character and then like one or two other scenes that are slightly different between the two characters. And I'm like, is anybody happy about that? Because like it's
the animals are different.
It's it's true. But they're pretty much the exact same trailers, just one what's got the dude and one what's got the lady. And like, I guess what I'm saying is that if we live in an age where you really need to make one trailer for the ladies and one trailer for the dudes, or one people for the trailer for people who want to play as a dude, one for people who want to play as a lady, at least fucking Ubisoft, you've got money. Like cut some different footage in here. This the overlay dialogue on this trailer could be put to any. I could show you pictures of like a supermarket and it would be fine.
Yeah, it's very obtuse, and it's very. Are we even? I haven't played an Assassin's Creed game since ever, and are we still even doing the whole plot with the modern day and the whatever corporation and?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yep. Assassin's Creed Origins, there's a lady that works for Abstergo that finds an Egyptian tomb and then has like a little portable animus that she can hook up into to go play her ancestors.
Whoa, that's
stuff. Yeah.
Huh. Well,
I mean, I'm going to say I still like the look of this. For some reason, I think I like the kind of Grecian stuff more than I liked the way the Egyptian stuff looked, mostly because there's less desert and more like kind of
mountains and forests.
Colorful stuff. Or I could just be a horrible racist. I don't know if that's...
I don't think you're a horrible racist.
Maybe I'm just a moderate.
You're just an okay racist.
Anyway.
I like the Medusa. I really have to wonder if that's a woman who's taped a bunch of snakes to her head.
There was a bunch of weird, like, the gods are attacking in Assassin's Creed Origins as well.
Well, I know there's a supernatural element to the games.
Right. I never got far enough to know whether that was like, oh, shit, there's a glitch in the Animus, or like, oh, shit, they're... brains were damaged from so much drinking that they thought there were gods. Or like, I don't know what the thing is, but yeah, it looks really. I mean, all the engine stuff looks
neat,
looks cool.
I'm down.
I wish they would show a little bit more. I mean, the last time we saw was E3, so
sure.
But speaking of Assassin's Creed, we'll come back to that later.
Okay.
Yeah. Speaking of whatever it was, I was just saying, check out my hot
Speaking
segues.
of video games,
yeah. We had a new Fallout 76 animated trailer. Which was the new American dream that basically talked about building a settlement, customizing it. It's one of these little Pip-Boy animated things that they've been doing for Fallout 76. Talks about using the camp, which is an acronym for something, to like make a house. And apparently you can pick up the camp and then move your house somewhere else. It's fine.
It's very silly. It's got a quite the old Hanna-Barbera quality to it. Or with a little bit of like Johnny Quest.
Yeah, it's like one of those old ones. It's got, it's nicely animated. It talks about how you're going to be able to craft your own weapons and you can sell them. You can barter with other players, etc., etc. I feel like a lot of this is stuff that we probably already knew about from this. I'm still not entirely sold on the concept of Fallout 76, and I don't know that I'm going to be until I actually have it in my hands.
I've tried playing Fallout 4 was the last big one, right?
Yes.
I tried playing it, couldn't really get into it. I know you guys really got into it.
A bit. I mean, less than Fallout 3. I never beat it. Like I just kind of wandered off at some point and was like, all right, I'm done with this, I suppose.
I don't know. I remember I think the thing that kind of made me fall like maybe less interested was when I realized that I can just the first thing tick against it was that I was like, I can just make a house.
Right.
And I can just repair stuff instantly.
Yeah.
As opposed to the Skyrim home building system, which I felt was a way more robust, and you had to work for hours to get your house in order and everything. And I don't know, it was just much more satisfying to do, but that's just me.
Yeah, I don't know. I never really was interested in building a house. So like that big part, or like running a settlement, I was like, yeah, I'm interested in shooting stuff and like being a god in the wasteland, and it was like And meanwhile, Preston is just like, settlement's under attack. And I'm like, I don't care. Let the super mutants eat them all. I do not give no fucks.
I remember that first fight with the, what's it called? The monster. Well, you get the suit. You get the power suit.
Oh, Deathclaw?
The Deathclaw. At the
very beginning?
And I remember, like I think the game is sort of encouraging you to go out in the suit and fight the Deathclaw, and that's a bad idea.
No, it's a good idea.
I got my ass kicked.
Really?
Yeah.
Because hold down the chain gun button until the Deathclaw is dead, like it doesn't take any time at all. I
don't remember how I beat the Deathclaw, but I remembered getting my ass kicked. No, the suit ran out of power, and then they would get my ass kicked.
Did you spend like an hour running in a different direction, or like trying the suit out?
Maybe I'm just not remembering it correctly. I don't know.
Because it's like they literally have you jump off the top of the building. Deathclaw's right in front of you. You hold down the button for the chain gun. The Deathclaw explodes. Doot. You're done. Like
I don't remember. I don't remember what I did wrong. All I remember was that I didn't do it correctly.
Okay.
Anyway.
Well, speaking of power armor and robots, filed under Destiny looks cool, but I'm still not going to play it, yo. We got a 4-minute trailer.
Yeah, you fell out of Destiny.
I know. I was never into Destiny.
Well, what I mean is that you fell. You were having a bad time when you and I were last playing it.
Oh yeah.
And but this trailer is basically what's his Cade 6? That's his name.
Robot Nolan North.
Yeah.
No, Robot Captain Mal.
Ryan. No.
Malcolm Reynolds.
Reynolds is the character's name, but his name is
Nolan North
Castle.
No, his name isn't. What is his name?
I feel like I cannot. Oh shit!
This is what happens when you try to remember stuff on a podcast.
Fuck! Oh god damn it! Oh, we'll have to tap into the Matrix.
Nathan Fillion.
Yeah, that's it.
A robot Nathan Fillion shooting Destiny monsters for about 4 minutes,
and just getting his ass beat.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a good trailer. It's nicely rendered. Looks. I'd be willing to bet this may or may not be a blur joint, but they're. It's cool. I feel like if you're going to play Destiny 2 Forsaken, maybe skip ahead 2 minutes, but like it's been like the worst kept secret that they're killing them off at the beginning of this.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Like the E3 trailer was like him dead, and it was like, will you avenge Cade 6? And it was like that would have been really dramatic if I saw it in the game.
Yeah, now it's like I feel like I don't care.
Right.
And I don't know, like I said, don't really have a whole lot of, it's pretty,
fine. It's fine.
Cool.
It's fine. Last time that we had a trailer, it was the Warmind trailer. It was a very fantastic trailer. Played Warmind. It was mediocre.
I feel like Cade 6 has a better Transformers face than most of the movie Transformers, though.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's how you're going to do a robot face.
Sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's not linger on this because this is stupid.
Okay.
Let's go to Ace Combat 7, which is an entirely different kind of stupid.
Oh, my God. I have never actually physically seen one of these games, and you've been talking about them for years, and I want to play this because it looks dumb.
I've been talking about this one for years because I've never played Ace Combat before.
Okay.
But this one piqued my interest. First when I saw it, it was like, oh, this Ace Combat, it's like some anime planes bullshit. But the fact that it's got PSVR support, which is great in airplanes because it means it like when that goes like pew, you can like turn around and look behind you to see.
Yeah, that's cool. I remember saying, like, it hit me as we were watching this trailer. I was like, oh my God, this is a Gundam. This is a Gundam anime.
It's some of the dialogue from this trailer sounds like it was lifted directly from a Metal Gear Solid 4 trailer. Mm-hmm. Like I can't tell you.
But is war? Is it war?
Yeah,
war never changes because it's war.
It's like all of the planes that they have. These are real planes that exist in the world, but then they're talking about like the Ocean Empire and like
the Kingdom of Verschbergenblurgen or whatever, and whatever that fucking tower is that keeps showing up.
Yeah,
it's. Like I said, it's so strange.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
And then they have this fucking made up plane bullshit.
The big flying wing.
Yeah.
But I'm going to play the fuck out of it.
I mean there is a very sizable audience in Japan for military stuff, military hardware specifically.
Yeah.
So I can see this very much being made for that extremely niche audience.
Right.
So hey, good for them. I kind of want to play it.
Yeah, I'm interested in checking it out when it comes out. It's been a while since we've seen a trailer for it, and so
how long has this been in development?
It's come out 7. It's been a while. I don't know exactly how long.
The way you've been talking about it is like, yeah, I feel like you were talking about this back in the Spill days.
No, it hasn't.
Not
been
that long ago,
no,
but yeah,
long. It's maybe been 2 years that it's been in development, and then it's coming out January of next year. So.
Okay, well, I want to give this a shot.
Now it should be worth noting that just because I love you all so much, I didn't put Sekiro in front of everything, including Overwatch.
You were very good,
even though I wanted to.
Yes, I know.
So they took the Sekiro trailer from E3 and put it into English. That was one thing. But what was more interesting than that was that GameSpot got 10 minutes of actual Sekiro gameplay.
Nice.
And Matt's seen a little bit of this. I watched the whole thing because of course I did.
I watched a little of it on my own time.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It looks. I like a game where you can jump, and seems to be the
you fucking Grant. The game's got to have a jump button.
Not that I don't have to. I just it looks like fun, and and what I like is that they really held back. It doesn't appear like there's any like they're holding back on the monsters this time. I mean, we know there are monsters in this game, but it kind of has a feeling of like this fucked up. The days of Sengoku Jidai were basically almost post-apocalyptic in a way, because I mean Japan was fucked up in those days. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they integrate that into a fantasy setting.
What I think is really interesting is that there are a lot of things in here, and you and I talked about this on one of our previous videos. Mm. There's a lot of stuff in here that is totally not Souls games. The way that the combat rhythm is more of a like building up a big finishing move rather than it seems to be like chipping down damage. There appear to be a lot of one-hit kills that are based specifically on stealth, on if you're in stealth or not.
He killed that nun.
But not
killed
just
that poor woman.
Not just that. I think that you were focusing on that when we were playing it before. When
it was really kind of fucked up.
Showing this before, but like there was a lot of like if you're up high, if you use like the grapple to get up high and people don't see you, then you can literally jump down on them and do a one-hit like stealth kill.
Sure.
There's a lot going on in here, and I only know it because I'm so familiar with the way that the Souls games work. Like, for example, look at the screen, Matt.
Yeah.
Do you see a stamina meter anywhere on this screen?
Nope. That's a pretty big
Dark Souls
departure.
1, 2, 3, Demon Souls, and Bloodborne all had a stamina meter at a green meter on the screen. Now, it seems that there's some kind of like warring meters of an enemy meter and your meter, and it's almost like it's based on some kind of like defensive. Like the more hits that you take, the higher it builds you up into this place where you can be riposted, or the more defense you can do for that. It almost reminds me of something like Bushido Blade, or it doesn't seem like Souls. It doesn't seem like this is just Samurai Souls. Like it does not seem like Samurai Souls. It seems like something completely different, and it seems really interesting, and I could now not be more excited because, I mean, I was already very excited, but the idea of being able, it looks like they're really doing something different rather than just making Samurai Dark Souls, and I appreciate that.
Right, and that really I feel is a testament to Miyazaki and the team's capability as artists to reinterpret what they've done and build on it. I mean, I still. I was honestly shocked when you told me that there was a sizable portion of the Souls community that does not like Bloodborne. Honestly amazed me when you said that. Because I mean, even though I sort of fell off of Bloodborne, I was enjoying it for what I was playing. It just I'm going to give this a shot. I feel like and honestly, the one hit kill thing makes sense to me because I'm a little more familiar with samurai and ninja fiction.
Yeah.
And how and not just that, but just the historical precedent for fighting dudes with samurai swords. The whole idea is you're supposed to kill your enemy as quickly as possible.
Right.
Because your samurai armor is light, and ninja don't really wear that much armor, and a katana is made to kill in one blow.
Right.
So
it's also very interesting because they do show the die twice mechanic at the very end of this. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I haven't seen that.
Where the end is like fighting this giant ogre, and when that happens, the main character, the player character gets killed. But the reason it's called Sekiro is because you build up the ability of this isn't where it happens. You build up essentially the ability at certain points where when you die, you come back to life.
Sure.
They showed it in the original trailer against fighting. I think it was a very similar.
I remember that.
Very similar. Guy where when you get killed, then you can use it to your advantage. Like you have a moment where, there we go. It was somewhere around here of when the character gets killed, or was able to do a thing.
Fucking badass.
The thing is that it looks a hell of a lot different than a Dark Souls game. Like,
right.
It's faster than a Dark Souls game. It seems like more frenetic than a Dark Souls game. It seems more like in the Bloodborne camp, but even taking that to a different level than it had been. So anyway, can't wait to see more.
Looks cool. I'm down to clown.
Yeah, if you haven't watched that and you're a fan of the Souls, check it out.
Yep.
I tell you what, if you're a fan of the Souls, you might also want to check out the Surge 2. And we just got some gameplay for the Surge 2. About 50 seconds worth of running around in a forest and
chopping dudes up,
hitting guys with big chainsaw swords and like big axes and stuff.
Now you weren't. No, I think it was actually Jim Sterling who said that he was really disappointed in this.
I thought that this company's their first game, Lords of the Fallen.
Those guys.
Deck 13. That one was too easy for the Souls community, and I felt like this one was too hard for me personally. That the Surge 1 was. Right. I was just like, I'm just dying over and over again. It doesn't matter what I put points or what I do.
You're not having fun at that point.
The thing is that I know generally in a Souls game how to like juice up for like a heavy tank character, and I would try to do that, and I'd still just get my asshole taken out, put on a plate, and handed to me like I was at a Chili's.
Have yourself an asshole.
Right. This looks like
sauce.
More of the Surge. There's kind of an interesting robot here at the end that it's like a statue that turns into a robot.
That statue's cool. I like that.
Some kind of boss character. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not exactly the just raring to go. Darksiders 3. We got a full-on trailer for Darksiders 3.
I got some thoughts on this.
Tell me your thoughts, because I'm here. No, I tell you what. I will say my thoughts very quickly because they're quick, and then you can say as much thoughts as you want.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. I can't tell if this game is going to be garbage or good until I get my hands on it, because it could go, these trailers, it looks like it could go either way. I can't tell anything about what this game is going to play like. A lot of the gameplay, the combat gameplay that they've shown has seemed a little dry and kind of basic. So but you know what? If you just showed me a cinematic trailer of Darksiders 2, I'd be like, oh, really?
Yeah.
Or Darksiders 1 for that matter, right? Because on the outside, it kind of looks dumb, but then it plays well, so who knows?
So, yeah. So I really want to be excited. I really want to be, because this trailer is kind of what I was waiting for. I was waiting for something that gave me a little more of the story, because I like the Darksiders story. I think it's silly, it's over the top, it feels like a 90s comic book. I like that Fury is we're getting a little tiny bit more Fury. And we don't really have a good beat on her character other than that what we saw in that original trailer. Right. I'm a little worried because it feels like THQ Nordic doesn't actually have a super great track record. They although Gunfire Games is actually the ones really developing this, and what their relation is to Vigil interesting. But
when THQ bought Vigil before Madera left to do the Battle Chasers Kickstarter, I'm pretty sure he left all of the information that he had mapped out for the other two Darksiders games.
That is true. I'm more talking about I just remember THQ Nordic put out they did the up-reses and the remasterings and the re-releases of Darksiders 1 and Darksiders 2. Mm-hmm. Those were fraught, as I understand it, with some difficulties. With some.
Actually, I'm not entirely sure if that's the case.
Really? I may be completely wrong.
Hold on. Let me just look at Darksiders 2 because there were problems. I don't know if they ever got it fixed. That's okay. No, yep. You're right. Published by THQ Nordic, but then who did the actual
the re-release?
Yeah.
Was that the definitive edition?
Yeah, it was published by Nordic because they're like a publisher, right? They're not.
They're not like a developer. But they put out something else recently, and I think Jim did a video on it, and it was like, they kind of. I don't know.
I don't know. That was Gunfire Games that did Darksiders 2 Definitive Edition.
Oh, well, I mean, maybe I don't know. I just, like I said, really, really, really want to be excited about this. I'm just not seeing anything that's really whetting my appetite. Mm-hmm. I think it's just because I need to see a little more of the story. Because, I mean, the whole idea is that it's Fury going up against the 7 Deadly Sins.
Right.
And I really want to see how they handle that. And war and death are in the trailer for like a split second.
Yes.
Because it's clearly there's going to be this this whole thing with where Fury is basically brought in to clean up this mess. And it looks like she also has a watcher like War had in the first game, played by Mark Hamill.
Yes,
and but it looks like she maybe has a female watcher.
Yes, it does.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I want to be excited. I'm just. It's not giving me much to work with.
I am maintaining a neutral stance of saying that, like, I don't want to write it off as being like, oh, it's going to be garbage, but I don't want to get my hopes up because there seems like every possibility that could also be that it could be garbage. I don't know. Sure. Darksiders 1 and Darksiders 2 were so good that if Vigil was still a thing and they were making Darksiders 3, I'd be sitting here being like, buy it day one, buy it.
Want it now, Give it to me in my blood.
Yeah, buy it, because those were both really good games. I just, with the studio change, it remains to be seen because their trailers haven't been wowing me.
Nope.
Even this one is not super wow-centric. Like, I feel like that Sekiro video that we were watching had like all this kind of information that you could glean, but whenever there's a gameplay video for Darksiders 3, it's like the HUD is hidden. Like they don't show any of the HUD, and so it's like, okay, what does all this mean? Like, is the
and it feels half finished.
Is the whip sword like the only weapon that you have? Do you
surely
power it up? Like what? Because all I've seen in the trailer is the whip sword, or is it like, because it's supposed to be Soulsian, right? Like it's supposed to have some Dark Souls DNA in the way that the combat rhythm goes. And I'm like, okay, well, if that's the case, part of the reason that people like that style of combat is because you have a wide variety of how you build your character out.
Right.
So I need to see some, like, every time I see Fury, she looks exactly the same. It's like, is there different armor?
She's got some kind of a power-up state where her hair is on fire.
Yes.
My hair is on fire. My hair is on fire. My hair. But,
oh, shit. We are behind.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway,
well,
we got to get going here.
Okay, yeah.
Who could say? Desperados is coming.
Like the art style.
From THQ Nordic. This is actually Desperados 3. Desperados was a top-down cowboy kind of action RTS type of game. There's Desperados 1, Desperados 2. They're old games. I can actually show you what the original Desperados looks like because it's the difference here is amazing. This trailer is great. Who can say is kind of the answer.
The trailer is fun. And when did the original come out? GameCube? No, PC.
Oh no, long time ago. Yeah. This is what it looks like. It's a top down.
Oh shit, this is an old
2D
game.
Kind of talking.
Good
Lord.
This is like Jurassic Park Chaos Effect.
But it's a good concept because I think that Westerns are a great place to set a video game So if you want to set a video game like a top-down... Oh, it's being made by the developer that made Shadow Tactics, which was perfect because Shadow Tactics was one of those styles of games.
Okay.
It's commandos, behind enemy lines style of games.
So this new one is probably going to be a top-down or an isometric or whatever fucking 3D
kind of like an RTS where you're only controlling
is the word I was looking for.
A few characters and not a lot of different characters.
Yeah, so. XCOM style.
No.
Oh.
No. Not XCOM style. XCOM's a cover-based shooter. This is more of a... I don't know that you've ever played a game like this, Matt.
XCOM cover-based shooter?
Well, in XCOM, is like Rabbids, where you move from cover to cover to protect yourself from the fire that is coming towards you.
Gotcha.
What I'm talking about is a game like Commandos Behind Enemy Lines, where you're literally like making a little character go do a thing while another character does another thing, and you pause.
Gotcha.
Like in Shadow Tactics, you have like a samurai and a ninja, and like the samurai can carry two people. The ninja can take people out from a distance.
Gotcha.
And you're like hiding in bushes, and you're like throwing lures, and you're doing stuff. They would be perfect for that style of game.
Okay.
Is all I'm saying.
Sure, right on. Life is
Strange 2 is a thing.
I mean, it's a lot of talking.
This trailer tells me, like, I don't know anything. I never finished Life is Strange 1. I never finished Life is Strange Before the Storm, and I did play The Adventures of Captain Spirit, but I don't recognize any of these characters as being the Captain Spirit characters, so I don't really know what's going on here or why.
Yeah, it's like some kind of traumatic event happens, but and I guess these two kids are supposed to be on the run.
It appears so, but I couldn't tell you.
Is one of them? Does one of them have the power?
I couldn't. You know as much as I do. I couldn't say. What I do wonder though, Matt Frank, is Life is Strange, right? Gets like a lot of cred as like, kind of a counterculture ladies game. Right?
Yeah, that's what it was. That's something I was like,
kind of like ladies' friendship and bonding, and are they in love? I don't know.
I mean, I think the internet likes to extrapolate that they're in love.
Okay,
I think that it's
shipping. They're shipping.
Yeah, they're shipping it. Because but then the second one, or rather, Before the Storm, is straight up like, oh shit, like we're leaning hard into this.
So I guess the question we
played it a little bit.
Do these two seem like brothers? And there's an age difference, so they're obviously not going to be shipping.
Nope,
the brothers where the one kid's like 7, right?
I don't know. Give the internet some time. I watched the Frozen incest pro incest community grow. It's
a very weird podcast this week.
Is a weird. Well, it's a weird world we live in, Jeff.
Matt, no, the common denominator on this week's podcast is Matt Frank. None of my co-hosts.
You're welcome.
Say I watched the incest, the
Frozen incest community
grow on the internet. Nobody else says these things. Anyway,
this is why you don't have me on the show.
This seems less interesting than any of the previous Life is Stranges or Captain Spirit.
Not feeling it.
I don't know. We'll play it when it comes out. Maybe it's coming out in September, which I feel like there's a bunch of like shit in September.
Okay,
that's like
shit as in shit or shit as in
good stuff. Like we're ramping up to the holiday season. So
cool.
Who can say?
I don't know. Maybe it'll be good. We don't know yet.
Jump Force has a new trailer.
Whoa.
Matt, maybe you can explain all they got some Vegetas and like there's a 2-piece and a biscuit.
A biscuit, huh? There's a certain point in this trailer where I completely lose the thread of who any of these fucking characters are.
Okay.
Like I recognize Luffy, I recognize Naruto. I don't know that guy. There's a pirate who's clearly supposed to be a One Piece character. I don't know who Face Mask McSamurai is. He's probably a Bleach character.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's not speculate.
Vegeta's in it. That's neat.
Brought up this thing.
Okay.
Gon and Hisoka from Hunter x Hunter.
Okay.
Sanji, Sabo, and Blackbeard from One Piece, and Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z.
So they're the only new characters.
The only ones shown in this particular trailer.
I mean, that seems like it'd be fun. It seems like it's got fun gameplay and it's real exciting and but a lot of these characters are like, boy, I stopped reading the manga before they showed.
I'm gonna say the exact same thing that I've said a bunch of times about this, and that's that it looks pretty fun. But one, I don't watch these shows, so these characters aren't interesting to me. And two, it's one of those dumb fighter games where you're just behind the back of one person, flying around shooting at the other person. And you know they're doing that with the Kill la Kill game that
I forgot they're making a Kill la Kill game
that the that one studio is making.
Sure.
The ones that make Arc System Works is making.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not interested in that either because I just don't like that style of game because it's like a one-on-one fighting game where you're just flying around all the time. Not my. I
didn't even know that there was any footage for the Kill la Kill game out.
Little bit.
Okay, but I mean, you know, we'll see.
Shit, Matt.
We're behind.
No, we're going to take a break.
Oh,
because we're at an hour and 10 minutes, and we still have a chunk of trailers left to go. I tried to whittle them down, but we're just going to have a trailerific show. So
hey, it's going to be fun.
Yep, stick around. We'll try to answer a few questions, but I don't know. I'll see you in a minute. Hold on. And we're back.
Oh my God!
Yes, and
gone for a week.
Yeah, I know.
I'm a different person.
Oof. So yeah, we still have a fair amount of trailers to get through here.
Oh God!
Fucking Gamescom, man. Like I said, I even cut
you cut
half dozen of these.
I
out,
noticed you cut out Devil May Cry 5, and I really wanted to talk about that.
Oh shit, I did.
You did because you are the communist win.
No,
Jeff.
You know what? I did, and I didn't mean to because it just didn't come up. I got a little bit overwrought with the number of things I was looking for. So yeah, let's talk about Devil May Cry 5 because there was
gameplay and there was a new trailer.
Mm-hmm, there was a Gamescom trailer for it. Matt, you've probably watched it already. I watched the trailer a few days back. Let's start with your positive things that you have to say about the Devil May Cry 5 trailer.
Well, I mean, first of all, I got to say that I love the dumb-ass song. Doesn't he look like Matt Smith a little bit?
Talk about Nero.
Yeah.
Gotta remember they can't see this at home, Matt.
I'm just saying.
They can't see. They don't know who you're talking about.
I'm talking about the other guy over there in the corner.
No.
That one badger.
Oh, yes. that real Matt Smith badger that I've got. Yeah.
Well, I like the I like the different mechanics associated with the arm. I like the slowdown and everything.
Yeah.
I like that Nero is acting more like Dante.
Yes.
I like that the crazy scissor ghosts are back.
Fuck it. I could do without the crazy scissor ghosts.
I like them. They're creepy.
Yeah, no, I like the way they look. I just hate fighting them in Devil May Cry games.
Sure. There's a boss, this giant, the behemoth, or what? No, Goliath. Mm-hmm. He's this big L monster. There's another like crazy, like tripod-looking monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like they're actually taking a little bit from DMC in that they're setting it in like a modern city, and
I don't know. I mean, Devil May Cry 3 did that.
Devil May Cry 3 did that for like the first stage,
a little bit, yeah.
And then
but I mean, we're also seeing plenty of like temples and weird shit.
Sure,
in here as well.
and I don't know, like he's riding on missiles and stuff. I don't know. I really like the Devil May Cry games, and I really want to play this. I like what's her name, the support character. I like how much of a fucking just a huge douche Nero is, and then fucking Dante shows up.
Yeah, old
Grandpa Dante, and he uses his motorcycle as like chainsaw swords.
Yep,
the fucking best. Her grandpa escaped, and we can't stop him.
So I'm gonna reiterate a thing that I've said a few times in the past about Devil May Cry.
All right.
So for me, here's my take on Devil May Cry.
All right, tell us.
Devil May Cry 1, big thumbs up.
Yep.
Devil May Cry 2,
yeah, agreed.
Devil May Cry 3, big thumbs up.
I like it.
Devil May Cry 4.
Yeah.
I don't really care for it.
Didn't play it. Didn't like it.
So
didn't like what I played. Didn't like what I saw.
Didn't like it.
Didn't like what I saw.
Didn't like what I like. Okay.
Yeah.
So for my money, Devil May Cry, the Japanese Devil May Cry, everybody knows I like DMC 1, but we're not going to relitigate that because they won. You got
you got it. They salted the earth, and we'll never get another one.
But of these games, of the games that we're looking at, like, Devil May Cry 4 was half Nero. I guess when I think about Devil May Cry, what I like about it, I like Dante. And so it's kind of like Metal Gear Rising for me a little bit, where I'm like, I don't like Nero very much, and it's possible that by the end of this game, maybe I will like Nero more. Sure. I did not really care for him in Devil May Cry 4 because he just seemed like a younger, more stupid idiot version of Dante.
Yeah, based on what I saw of Devil May Cry 4, he was very much like an anime protagonist, like, I'm gonna save my girlfriend.
Right. Well,
my not girlfriend. And
so the idea of playing, and I know that you're going to end up playing as Dante at some point in this game, but I guess it's like for a franchise that I really like because of the character, because of the main character, for them to keep it, it so reminds me of the Metal Gear franchise trying to make Raiden a thing. Where I'm like, quit trying to make Nero a thing and just give me Dante. I play a whole old man Dante game.
Old man.
I played a whole old man Kiryu Kazama game. I played a whole old man Kratos game. I'm okay with my action heroes from the PlayStation 2 era getting old.
This is the dad era,
right,
of protagonists, and I get it. I totally get that sentiment. I think it still looks like fun, and I think that Nero is it seems like they modeled him a little more after the DMC1 Dante, like.
Well, he looks like a young Dante with white hair. So
I mean, I also mean for his attitude and stuff, because Dante was always cocky, but he was never like, whoa, kind of cocky, and that kind of feels like this Dante. Oh, no, wait, he was in Devil May Cry 3.
Yeah, but he was very young. It's the question really comes down to Jesus. Sorry, ads on YouTube videos. Here's the thing. Here's what I would like to say. I think this looks fine. I haven't had a chance to play it. I'm not the biggest fan of Nero, but who the fuck knows, right? Like, I don't know. I'm not, what I've seen so far has been like, I would rather play as Dante than as Nero. I don't like Nero. Now, I feel like a lot of times when I say that, people who do like the Japanese Devil May Cry franchise, their response is like, well, I like Nero. Okay, cool. Let's refer back to Battlefield 5, where you've got one vote for I like Nero and one vote for I fucking hate Nero. And so we're at 0 here.
We're canceling each other out because ultimately it's probably not up to us, and it shouldn't really be up to us.
True. And this is so far removed from the weird medieval city that DMC4 took place in, where it was like,
wasn't modern, but it was like a It's like
Bayonetta, right? Where it was like you're in this city that supposedly takes place in the modern day, but it's like a bunch of priests, and then there's like temples.
It's like you're in Vatican City or something,
right? So I don't know.
Nero has like a Walkman.
Yeah. So who knows? I mean, I'm at the end of the day, I'm still coming to grips with the fact that I would have rather probably have seen DMC 2 than Devil May Cry 5. But that's that. You know what?
We're not getting it.
As we said before, people talked with their dollars. DMC was okay, critically pretty well received. Didn't sell as well as maybe they wanted. So they decided to go back to the well. I don't care. They did good by Resident Evil 7.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 2 remake looks fucking baller.
Yeah.
Better
get that goddamn Dino Crisis remake is all I gotta say. But go ahead.
But then I don't really care about Street Fighter 5. So for me, in Capcom, it's like maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll see. I hope that this is everything that Devil May Cry fans want it to be, because obviously y'all are into something that's not what I'm into when it comes to this particular franchise. So, we'll see how it goes.
We will see.
We shall see. From a very just like taking all that stuff out of the way, like it looks good. It's got a nice lighting engine. It's got nice graphics.
Apparently it's got a dynamic soundtrack as well, which means the better you do and the more crazy shit you do, the cooler the music gets.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Which apparently somebody was playing the game, did like a first impressions on like Kotaku or something. I don't remember which site. And they were like, it sucks. I hate it. and the music is not good anymore. Like there's no music or something. And then basically people were like taking it apart, saying like it's a dynamic music engine. The better you do, the better the music gets, because it's supposed to be pumping you up.
So if you suck at the game, then you get to listen to bad music.
Yes,
I could see. I could see where the one part of that works out pretty well, but I can also see a bit of a problem with if you're not super good at Devil May Cry and you're just like, oh, this music kind of sucks.
I mean, I could see them like maybe they're encouraging you to experiment and do better. I mean, these aren't difficult games.
What?
I mean, never mind.
Like,
I mean,
I seem to remember somebody on this show, somebody sitting here, one of the two of us or the Badgers, who had a difficult time with the beginning of Devil May Cry 1 and 3 HDs.
Shut up! I remember.
Shut up now, huh?
When I was playing, I used to play both of those games over and over and over, and I got really good at them.
Right.
And then it was a fucking 10 years since I played either of them.
Right.
And obviously I was rusty at them.
Right.
I'm just saying that, like, are they okay? Here's my question:
if you get good at them, then you're good at them. Right?
It's funny how that works.
Yeah.
No. Here's my question: are they perceived to be difficult games by the broader gaming community? Because I don't fucks with no gamers.
Okay, so it depends on who you talk to. I feel like Devil May Cry or people who are fans of this style of game are very blasé about. It's like, well, you just gotta fuck. It's like a get good noob thing, right? Because here's the thing. Devil May Cry 3 in the US was set on hard by default.
That's right.
Right? Like, and that shit was hard when I first playing it.
I do remember that now.
I remember playing some of the later levels of DMC1, and I remember specifically it was when I lived in Seattle. There was a guy that I worked with that came over to my house. We were going to go to a bar or something, and I was like, hold on, let me finish this level. I'm playing this new Devil May Cry game, and he was watching me play it, and I was fighting two of the kind of jumpy, grabby, werewolfy monsters.
Yeah.
And it took some time. And when I was done, he was like, God damn, dude, I'm worn out after watching that. Because it was like, dodge. There's a rhythm to it, and it's a fast rhythm. And I feel like if you're not like, it comes down to that weird thing about like, Dark Souls 3 is a lot more difficult than Dark Souls 1.
Sure.
Because the Dark Souls fans have gotten better at Dark Souls 1, so you have to up the difficulty so it's difficult for them. But like a regular person who starts at Dark Souls 3 is going to be like, what the fuck, man?
Well,
because they have none of the muscle memory of Dark Souls 1 and 2.
Well, then what I will say is I actually really like the scene where he's in the truck. Then I will rescind that sentiment that they're not hard games, because I think they're somewhat difficult. I even think that they're difficult because what they every time you buy like a healing item, it ups the price of the healing item, right? Every time you buy like a continued thing, it ups the price. So it's like the further you get, the worse you do in the beginning, the more you might have fucked yourself like way deep into the game later on. I don't know if I ever put that together.
Yeah.
I do appreciate that we're maintaining the tradition of giant bosses.
Yeah.
Big old monster bosses.
That talk a lot of shit, and the protagonist is like, meh,
I'm a fucking animu. But yeah, no, I don't know. I'm excited for it. I'm sure going to get my ass kicked, and
I'll play it and I'll see what I think. Who knows? Maybe Nero will grow on me, and I'll come out going like, good, great, super happy for Nero.
Happy time, butthole pirates. What?
No, I'm going to let you sit with that for a minute here,
I'm
Matt.
going to sit and think about what I did.
You go to the Badger Corner. You think about what you've done on this podcast. We got 3 minutes of Crom and Dark Samus fighting in Smash Brothers, the new Smash Brothers. I can say that this is probably interesting to somebody. I mean, like, I just don't know enough about Smash Brothers to tell what's happening here in any significant way, shape, or form. It's very pretty, but it's like watching Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom, where it's just like, and then everything on the screen explodes and half of them die.
Yeah, I don't know. The only thing I'm super interested in is the fact that they're putting out a Ridley amiibo. And I don't know, looks neat. I haven't really played Smash since the one for the Wii came out, and I just played the single player mode. the story mode, Subspace Emissary or whatever, and I was like, it was all right.
I have to say, I mean, I will say, as I have always said, that I'm not the biggest Smashman in the world, but like
you're not Saul Smashman, attorney at law.
It seems that if you are into Smash, that this is probably the best version of Smash Brothers that's ever existed, like with the roster and the stages, and they had that Nintendo Direct where they're like 900 tracks of music, and it's like, shit.
Well, I remember people were actually saying that Brawl, which one was Brawl?
GameCube?
Okay. That Brawl was superior to the Wii game. Because it was better balanced, I think. So I think that's ultimately what I think the gameplay and the community is ultimately going to decide whether or not this is the quote unquote ultimate game.
I think at Evo this year, I saw some videos about. No, Brawl was the Wii version.
Oh, then it's the one before
the Wii version,
because there was Super Smash Brothers, and then Super Smash Bros. Melee
is the GameCube version.
Okay, and then Super Smash Brothers was the old N64 one.
Right, that was the original one.
Melee is the one that is for a while there was kind of agreed to be the ultimate one, the best, most well balanced one. I'm speaking from people. We've established that Matt doesn't know what he's fucking talking about.
That's true.
So I'm just talking about that's what my friends had told me who were experienced Smash Brothers players.
I think that you might have been thinking about the Wii U one, because there was the Wii U one.
I forgot there was a Wii U one.
That had all the DLC.
So people were saying that the Brawl one was better than. No, wait. Fuck it. I'm not in the community. I don't know.
All I know is that I think that there was kind of a debacle where this year at Evo, the Smash Brothers tournament ended in basically two people with Bayonetta. Like two Bayonettas doing the same move at each other until one of them caught the other one.
I mean,
because the meta is apparently fucked up to the point where like Bayonetta is overpowered and they're not doing like balance patches the way that a normal fighting game does, and so everybody just plays Bayonetta because she can counter most of the other moves or something. I was watching somebody do a really, really, really super in-depth analysis, and then my eyes glazed over and my leg fell asleep and I shit myself. So
that will happen when you watch Smash videos. I as a quick interjection, I know what that's like, where you just have an unbalanced game. There was a G-Fest a couple of years ago. They had a Godzilla Unleashed tournament, and it came down to just two Destoroyas fighting each other because Destoroyah is broken because his laser horn doesn't use up any energy, so they were just both laser horning each other until one of them died.
Right.
So, yep. You gotta balance your games, guys.
Balance it. All right. Moving on. So this is interesting. We've got a horror anthology coming from Supermassive Games.
The people who made
Until Dawn.
Until Dawn. That's what I thought. That's what they thought it was.
Yeah, called The Dark Pictures. And we got our first trailer for the first thing, and it's called Man of Medan. And it's on a boat. We've got some recognizable faces. Mm-hmm. Who's the guy? Is it one of the Hobbits? This guy?
Really? I couldn't tell you.
No, there's one of the guys in here that is a Hollywood person here. You should be able to recognize him. I
didn't see the trailer. I only saw the gameplay. I saw the gameplay footage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which was pretty much focused on just the two, the black guy and the black girl.
Oh, okay.
And
this guy, you'll see him in a second. I'm sorry. I'm really not sure about this because he's one of them. They're young actors. I don't know. He's not Robert Redford, so I don't know who he is.
Yeah, he's not Idris Elba. Don't give a shit.
I feel like we got to get a close up on his face at some point.
I mean, so basically, the basic impetus of this is that it's like a haunted ship scenario with like these what are ghosty goos, and I don't know, it looks interesting. I feel like the trailer kind of gave away the goods a little bit, though.
Well, I don't know. Did you ever play Until Dawn?
Oh yeah,
because Until Dawn.
I know of it.
Okay. Because Until Dawn very much starts.
Actually, I watched you guys play through it. That's what did
that guy right there.
Oh yeah,
he looks like a young Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah,
is he one of the Hobbits? I don't remember if he was one of the Hobbits. Somebody will tell me in the comments.
Somebody will tell us.
Here, I bet the YouTube comments know. Okay, I don't know. Until Dawn, all of the stuff for Until Dawn was like the killer.
Right.
And then like halfway through Until Dawn, that game took a right-hand turn.
It was like, oh, it's not about that. It's about something completely different.
It was like if you started with the movie Saw and then like glued, I don't know,
Predator,
onto the second half of it, and you were just like,
Aliens a little more,
right.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, we solved
Jeepers Creepers.
We solved the mystery of the Saw Man, but now the Mimic is after us, and it's like, oh shit, what? Wait,
there's a lot of I mean, that's fair, but it seems like you can't really go in any more hard left turns after what they showed, unless it turns out to be fucking aliens or something.
How do you know it's not aliens?
That's fair. I don't.
How do you know it's not aliens?
I'm not saying that it wouldn't be aliens. I saw gameplay footage. I saw it was like 10 minutes of gameplay footage, and it looked pretty spooky.
Was it just like Until Dawn kind of quick time events and
well, there was a little bit of walking around,
right,
and then there was quick time events
and then like dialogue choices and stuff like that.
Yep.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Okay. See, I'm having a little bit of trouble because Supermassive Games in between
this is it.
Until Dawn and now has actually put out 3 other games.
Have they?
Yeah. One was the PlayStation where you download the app on your phone and it's like a cop thing where everybody picks like what they want the answer to be and then one person gets to choose. Amanda and I played it. That was one. 2 was The Inpatient, the PSVR game that Brian Salisbury and I played.
Okay.
That was also Supermassive. And 3 was they put out a kind of shitty action game, like a using the PSVR called Bravo Team, where you go around stuff and shoot.
I think we played that.
I think we played it too. So I like their engine. Whatever the engine is that they use is very nice, very realistic.
Yeah.
I think I would kind of like it though if they went back to this style, to the kind of, because Until Dawn was great, and then I feel like they were like, okay, well, let's do Until Dawn, but let's do a cop version. And it's like, I kind of liked it better when it was like a weird cheesy thing, like people could die, and
it's like they do these kind of they're horror movies, they're interactive horror movies,
right? And like The Inpatient, that was a PSVR game, but it was real strange. I could never really get a good grip on what was going on with it. So I'm really hoping that this is going to be good, though, especially if it's an anthology and it allows them to do a bunch of different ones.
It's a fun idea,
and it's also coming to PS4, Xbox One, and PC. So it's not it's not like a PlayStation exclusive.
Sure.
I feel like they probably had like a 4 game deal after Until Dawn, and then they made The Inpatient and that cop game, and they made that Kill Team Bravo game or whatever.
Bravo team in the Bravos.
Oh no, Michael and I think actually were the ones who played that.
Yeah, probably. I was thinking of something else, but another VR game or something. But yeah.
But this looks like it's kind of going back to their roots. I'm okay with that, especially if they go back to the idea where you've got a bunch of different people, you can get some of them killed if you do the wrong thing, because I kind of like the 10 Little Indians thing. And,
I remember that.
It adds a nice sense of like, well, if I fuck up this quick time event, this person's probably just going to die and be gone from the story.
And they're dead. So I remember that was back when I was watching Markiplier a little bit, and he got a character killed, and he got up and he walked away from his station, from his camera.
Yeah.
And later he came back and he said, okay, I restarted the game. Yeah, he did not want to lose that character.
That's the whole point. You got to live with your choices, Markiplier.
Well, he restarted it, and he played the whole thing, and he's like, okay, I played the whole thing. Sorry, I'm not doing my Markiplier voice. Okay, I did the whole thing, and I'm handsome and sexy.
Don't do that. Don't do that. None of that. None
of that here?
Nope. None of that. Anyway, this was good. I'm hoping they get back to the basics, because Until Dawn was good, and I feel like a lot of the stuff they've done since then has not been so great. So,
well, we'll see.
We finally got some actual gameplay for Call of Cthulhu, which appears to be a first-person kind of walking around I'm actually a little bit less interested in this because the people in this kind of look like garbage.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with his face, and the voice acting is really like...
I'll tell you what's going on with this. The Focus Interactive joint is what's going on with
Oh, what are they?
Well, they're like a mid-tier European publisher.
Okay.
So it's kind of interesting. I don't know. There was an interesting part later on where they talk about like the more that you find out, the more that you're in danger of getting the old ones after you, kind of.
That could be interesting. It could also be really stupid.
Well, but I think the thing is that
like you have detective vision
from this. It appears to be like a very much kind of a investigative detective type of thing, and so it's like, well, what do you mean? The more I find out, the more that the Cthulhus are going to come after me.
They even said ignorance is like keeps you safe or something.
Right. I'm an investigator. You can't be an ignorant. You're just going to be bad.
You're just going to be bad at what you do.
You're just going to go in and be like, I don't know what happened there. Bye, everybody.
Is the advantage don't play the game? Is that how you survive and not get eaten by what is a Cthulhu?
I don't know. It's difficult because madness in games is difficult. Player agency, the way that player agency interacts with the madness of the Cthulhu mythos is difficult.
Yeah,
I feel like so. The graphics look okay, except for some of the faces. The voice acting is okay. It looks like it's going to just kind of be a walking around spook 'em up with some detective visions.
I like this crazy like look into the monster world or whatever, like whatever's going on there.
Oh, the fish portal,
the Dagon or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I feel like the Cthulhu games don't have a great track record.
It's true. There's a couple. Well, actually, I would say that it's true. But then last week, somebody wrote in and asked us for recommendations on Cthulhu/Cthulhu related games. And between Michael and I think we were able to come up with like a good dozen.
Oh, well, that's. I know that Bloodborne takes a lot of inspiration from that as well. I mean, it feels more like. I don't want to talk out of my ass again, but it feels almost like using it as more of a basis for inspiration for storytelling aspects as opposed to gameplay.
Unknown creeping cosmic horror makes for a good base to put your story on top of. Yeah, as opposed to directly, because like the Cthulhu, a lot of Lovecraft's writing can get like real boring. Like I look at short stories, but sometimes he just gets like so long-winded, and I think that the Tomb of Kadath or whatever the main Cthulhu story is gets a little ponderous and dull, and like walking around in the mountains and there's the tentacles coming down. I don't know.
Well, we'll see. Hopefully Del Toro get to make his fucking Mounds of Madness movie at some point.
Yeah. Speaking of horrifying, I hope that you aren't afraid of rats if you're going to play A Plague Tale Innocence, because we got some not procedurally generated, but like some big, weird computer-controlled swarms of rats. We had a trailer for this back at E3 that was just like a simple cinematic trailer.
Sure.
That was just this girl and this kid, and then there was a bunch of rats all around them, and they just had like a torch that was going out.
Mm-hmm.
Here we're actually seeing like a whole, just a mess of rats.
They're fucking everywhere.
There's a lot of rats.
Now, what's interesting is I didn't see the trailer. I didn't even know about this game until I saw the this
Gamescom trailer.
So I had a really interesting experience while I was watching this because I didn't know what this was about.
Right.
I'm just watching this.
You just search for like Gamescom 2018 and then just watch whatever came up.
Well, actually, no. I think Kotaku linked it, and they were like, "Here's a trailer." I don't remember exactly how I saw it, but I was watching it, and I was like, oh, this looks interesting. And the way they're talking about how like, oh, what's wrong with our little brother? And it's like, well, he's got an evil in his blood and a flippity flappity flu. And I'm like, oh, so what is this? Like some kind of crazy Game of Thrones world or something? And as I'm watching the game and I'm watching them go through the battlefield, all these dead people and stuff. And then there's this dead horse body that starts like wriggling.
Right.
And I thought, oh, there's going to be Zambos or there's going to be demons or something. Nope. Apparently, we don't need any of those because guess what? Guess what we had back in the stupid ages? Just swarms of rats.
Just real fucked up rats.
Just fucking swarms of fucking rats. Because God doesn't exist, and when you die, nothing happens. So, because the world sucks.
Well, that's one way to go about it.
I don't know. Looks really interesting. I'm hoping they're going to be able to maintain a sense of dread, because I could see this whole rat thing becoming kind of old kind of fast.
Yeah, I think this is another one that's being published by Focus Interactive. It seems like kind of a third-person adventure game. Like, there seems to be some kind of some puzzly ways to get around people and combat and stuff like that. Not that it doesn't seem like the sort of thing that's going to have
oh god,
press this one button to block. But it is kind of interesting that you have, and I haven't watched all the way through this trailer. It's possible by the end you might be pressing X to block and square to fucking bash somebody's head in. But I do like the idea of the rats, just because it's just not a thing that we've seen as much in a game. And the way that they're generated, the way that they move away from light and fire and stuff like that is striking. It's very striking looking. I don't necessarily like the fact that this lady has to always be holding this kid's hand, because I'm not a big fan of children, as everybody knows.
Yeah, the characters themselves seem a little, just kind of like, well, I have to protect my little brother because he am little,
right?
And what I will say is, I think it's kind of funny that I was checking out Kotaku articles and stuff, and all the comments are, but rats are such wonderful pets, and you guys don't know, you guys are assholes because you don't like rats. And it's like, okay, I get it.
There's pet rats, and then there's the Black Death rats.
Yeah,
so
these aren't guys. They're not concerning themselves with whether or not rats make good pets in this point in history.
Right.
They're concerning themselves with not being eaten alive or stricken with bubonic plague.
Right. Right.
Now, to be fair, Morgan actually pointed something out, which is really funny. When I showed her the trailer, she was like, "Yep, shouldn't have burned all those women and killed all those cats." Because that is one of the things that led to a lot of plagues back then. People were killing cats left and right.
Oh.
Because so there weren't any cats to catch mice and rats.
But what about the women? Were they eating a lot of rats?
They were killing any women who had cats, because they thought cats were devilry and witchcraft.
Okay.
So it's just an extra little misogynistic cherry on top of the sundae.
All I'm going to say is that anybody who is offended that rats would have been portrayed in this way, I have very little sympathy for
plague rats.
For these sorts of rats, not like people's pet rats. I'm not saying that your pet rat should be destroyed. I'm saying that rats and vermin. I saw a statistic one time that said 15% of the food that man creates is eaten by vermin, including rats and shit like raccoons and possums and the scavengers of the world. But that's a lot of the food that we make that's just fucking consumed by rodentia.
Sure.
And rats are mean fuckers. Cute mice are one thing, but rats are evil fuckers. So
my friends in Houston, they regularly lose cats because the cats get in fights with rats at the docks.
Yeah.
So look, pet rats are great. I'm sure they're real cute.
I'm sorry, I'm just looking at the YouTube comments.
And are they all
No. One says, I hope this whole game isn't just about dodging rats.
Get ready to settle in.
It's called A Plague Tale: Innocence. What would you have out? I mean, it appears to be just like a mediocre stealth game when you're not trying to go around the rats. So
yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it shakes out.
This is another Focus Interactive joint, so I assume that it'll be. This is more what I like out of Focus Interactive rather than the Cthulhu game, because this is doing its own thing. To me, honestly, this is scarier than the Cthulhu game, because Cthulhu isn't actually a thing that exists, and lots of rats, what would eat your eyeballs out? As a thing, it doesn't exist in my house.
It still exists in certain places of the world. It
does exist in places. So this is a thing that could happen. The old ones is not a thing that could happen.
It's poetic.
It could happen.
Yeah.
You'd be better off worrying about rats than worrying about old ones.
Yep.
Speaking of giant swarms of stuff.
Swarms.
We got a World War Z trailer.
Which, boy, I'm kind of surprised this franchise is still around. But
well, this started development, I feel like, sort of around the time when the movie came out, and has been in development for a while.
Well, it's like it just kind of looks like Left 4 Dead, but
you got them swarming
zombies, and that's it. You just got swarming zombies.
Well, so I think that like it doesn't look ridiculous all on its own. I do like in this trailer though. There's one point where you see a bunch of zombies that are all climbing on top of each other.
Yeah,
and I like watch this zombie with the brown. This guy, he's just like,
oh, he just kind of floated, didn't he?
Yeah. But what I really think, there's nothing about this trailer that looks wrong or that looks like bad. I don't know if it's narrative. I don't know if it's just a Left 4 Dead clone. I think it probably has to have some kind of narrative thing. I do like the idea of having to take on big old swarms of zombies like this. The problem is that biker gang game.
Yeah, I was gonna say that while we were watching this. Like there was that biker versus zombies game.
What is
Wasn't it called Dead something or?
I'm sure it's got the word dead in the title.
Dead farts. Dead farts.
No, it's not called Dead Farts, Matt.
I'm gonna make a game called Dead Farts.
I think you should.
Deadfarts.com.
Okay.
Biker zombies from Detroit.
That's a 2001 movie.
Biker zombies.
No, not biker zombies from Detroit.
Zombie game bikers.
There we go. Video game is all we had. Days Gone.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't a dead.
Yeah.
That's like where the swarm is this thing.
Yeah, it's like this big, it's coming after you.
Sure.
Which this game appears to have similarly, but then like I don't know if it's just because I'm a filthy fucking Sony fanboy or what, but like the gameplay, appears to be some kind of like Last of Us style survival gameplay in between the huge zombie stuff, whereas everything I've seen from this World War Z game, even in this Horde trailer, is supposed to just like, look how many zombies. Look, you can kill them. You can blow them up. And it's like, but like when that first Days Gone trailer, remember he was like running through that barn and like setting traps and trying to slow them down.
There's a whole thing. This just kind of looks like, again, like I said, it kind of looks like a less interesting looking Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
And whatever, I guess. So that's cool.
Again, it's one of those things where they're not making the world's best impression, but who knows? Oh my God, Saber Interactive, who made this game, made the Battle for Los Angeles game.
Oh my!
Okay, God mode is different than God hand. They made Inversion.
Wow.
Which was really interesting.
Okay.
It was a strange game because you were all gravity and stuff.
I remember you guys playing that years ago.
R.I.P.D. the game.
Oh, dear.
You know, that classic movie with Ryan Reynolds and Jeff, or what's his name? The guy from True Grit. And,
I don't remember.
Talks like this now.
Yeah. I don't remember.
They also apparently did the Master Chief Collection and Quake Champions and NBA Playgrounds and Shaq Fu.
Oh, let's move on. Let's fucking move on.
And by that, I mean Shaq Fu, A Legend Reborn. Matt and I's favorite game that I literally turned off on YouTube because I was tired of people getting all pissy in the comment section.
Yeah. We're not going to go down that.
Windjammers.
That's a game.
Windjammers 2.
Oh, yeah. You and I were talking about this. So this is a Sega Genesis game?
I think it was an old platform game. Let's see if I can find out that information. It was a Neo Geo game.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
deep cut. And it's like Shuffle Puck.
Yeah. Well, see, I don't know, Matt. People don't seem to know that. That was the name of an old game that I used to play that was like a virtual air hockey game. And I feel
air hockey. You can just say air hockey.
Every time I say Shuffle Puck, which is what that is to me, that like people are like, what are you talking about? But it's basically like it's kind of like just like a one-on-one kind of like blasting this little puck back and forth. And it's got like a cult following. And so they're making a Windjammers 2, and we got a trailer for it that doesn't show anything except for basically
just
like a
animated
Saturday morning cartoon intro.
Yeah, it's kind of like an 80s style, like, and a little bit of an anime vibe to it. Okay.
I don't think it has any amount of anime vibe to it.
Well, at a certain point,
80s music video.
There's a few little moments where I'm like, this has a tiny bit of an anime vibe to it, just a little bit. Well, a lot of what people kind of forget is that a lot of those 80s, the really high quality 80s cartoon stuff were animated by Japanese studios.
I'm not
directed.
I'm not taking this bait. Neon
That's
colors.
Not bait.
Nope, I'm not. I refuse.
Okay, here's what I want to know.
I refuse.
Here's what I want to know.
Yes.
So Windjammers got a cult following.
Right.
The older game gets getting a big revival.
Uh-huh.
Where the fuck is my Primal Rage revival?
Probably stuck in licensing hell.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because the company that made Primal Rage originally probably wants to continue to hold on to the rights in case they ever decide that they want to put out like an HD version or make a sequel in 10 years. Or either that or it's one of those things like No One Lives Forever where like 4 different companies have the rights and none of them want to even bother with giving you the rights for it.
Yeah, I think Warner Brothers were the ones who bought it, along with, I think it was Midway who had it.
Oh, yeah.
And then Midway sold off all their assets, and I think to Warner Brothers, so God knows. I mean, I don't know. I've been trying to find out for years who's got the license.
Looks like it's published by Atari, developed by Atari.
Originally, I don't think they own it anymore.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's just Matt throwing a tantrum because that's what I do.
I think that nobody gave a shit about Windjammers, so that somebody who clearly had the license for it they were able to go, hey, I'll give you $200 for this, and they were like, okay, we don't.
Sure, fine.
Who gives a fuck about Windjammers?
I'm gonna make a big revival.
Right.
Cool.
Yep.
Anyway.
This is a late entry that I forgot about, and so I added in because it came out today. So Reigns is a game. I don't know, Matt, if you know what Reigns is. Do you know what Reigns is?
Is it a tactical game? Is it like...
It's a phone game.
Oh.
It's a phone game that is out on... they actually brought 2 consoles and stuff.
We played that, and I actually have it on my phone.
Yeah.
Because I have the...
Reigns, Her Story, or whatever.
Yeah, Her Majesty, or whatever. Yeah, I do remember. I really enjoyed that.
Well, guess what's being made?
I'm seeing it on the screen.
It is a Game of Thrones version of Reigns.
Well,
so they've got the little Reigns characters, but they're like little Jon Snows and
little Daenerys's and little
Tyrion's and stuff. Yeah, so. And I'm like, I can't think of a better way to make a Game of Thrones game than to take the Reigns simulator because you get killed off all the time, right?
Sure.
Like there's a lot of weird shit that happens, like you remember when you play Reigns and it's like, oh, a dog talked to you. Do you want to talk back to that dog? And then Satan comes in and offers to do whatever. So this looks great.
Yeah, I actually would totally play this because like I said, I really enjoy the Reigns game we played, and I would absolutely like to play this.
Reigns is very fun if you have a phone.
I like the dragon in the background there. I like the way they animate each of the characters on the throne.
Yeah. But yeah, this to me is I couldn't for years. Also, Game of Thrones has been one of those ones where I've been just like, where the fuck is like the third person action game? Where the fuck is like the Dark Souls? The Game of Thrones game, because Game of Thrones is all this like realistic combat and stuff.
Didn't they make a game?
There was the Telltale game.
Okay, I remember that.
And then there was another game that was like too tied into the world. You know what it is? It's Lord of the Rings syndrome, where they tried for years to make like the real kick-ass Lord of the Rings game, and they weren't really ever able to totally get it figured out. Where I feel like there's got to be a third-person character action game in the Game of Thrones universe where you play as like young Jaime Lannister doing shit for the Mad King Dagon.
I could see that. It's just that the combat isn't really what Game of Thrones isn't really about. That it's kind of about the politics of it. And
you take the
good and take the bad.
You take something like Dark Souls, you add in a healthy splash of, you alter the combat so it's not just Dark Souls. You add in something like For Honor, which is a very one-on-one, heavy-hitting, heavy things. Between that, you're going to add yourself in a story that has some Telltale-esque elements of talking to people, making alliances and whatever. Give yourself a branching pathway, make it episodic, give yourself a chance to do a few different things. bada bing bang boom. It's Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones still makes money, y'all.
But I feel like that's what they try to do with that one version, that one game.
Yeah, but okay, again, this goes back to a thing that I keep saying over and over and over again, and nobody will fucking listen to me.
All right.
Is they gave it to some dog shit studio that made like 4 games that were no good. Here, let's find out what it was called.
Okay. Game of Thrones video game.
Yeah, it was whatever it was like it came, it went, nobody played it, and I did play it, and it looked like trash, and it didn't play very well.
All right.
So there's the Telltale one. List of Song and Fire and Ice video games.
Oh my God, there's a bunch of them.
I think this is the one. Oh, look, it's our friends Focus Home Interactive and Cyanide Studios.
Oh, my God.
Is this the one? No, I don't think this is the one.
No, but it looks like what you're describing, though.
It was called, I think it might have been this one, just called Game of Thrones, where, let's
2012,
see.
that sounds about right.
Alistair at the brother's funeral. Yeah, I think this is the one that I'm talking about. This is also, by the way, made by Cyanide, but published by Atlas USA. Cyanide Studio, I just got done saying how I don't think they're the worst studio in the world. However, Styx, Shards of Darkness, Space Hulk, Deathwing, Le Tour de France 2016, Blood Bowl 2, Pro Cycling Manager, the other Styx game, of Orcs and Men, they're not bad games. It's just go get a real company. Don't quit giving this shit to these guys. Give it to somebody like Ubisoft. Give it to Ubisoft.
You and I have talked about that a lot, and it feels like something that just people don't do. They just don't give these licenses to big studios, and I don't know. What I will say is that, as Butters told us, a floppy wiener is non-threatening, just like a gay wiener. Do you remember that?
No, I'm just trying to figure out how that in any way, shape, or form has anything to do with what we're talking about.
It was their Game of Thrones multi-parter, and I just thought about that, and I had to share it.
Okay.
Because I have, reference Tourette's.
Apparently. Get on point, Matt Frank. We're almost done here.
All right. It's also late. I'm tired. Jennifer and I went to dinner at 2 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't eaten since, so
you got over here at 10.
I know.
You had 8 hours to eat.
I didn't eat. I've been working.
Oh, God damn it! Storm Divers is a game. This is new.
It's PUBG.
It's a new Housemarque game that is a battle royale game.
Got a storm.
I think that I'm very interested in this new crop of these sorts of games because PUBG is too much like Arma, and Fortnite has that build thing that I don't like. I'm waiting for somebody to make one of these games that is just kind of easy to get into. And Housemarque, if you all don't know, they're the ones that made all the Nex Machina and Resogun. They're a good dev. They tend to make pretty easily accessible games, and I guess that's what I'm waiting for is for something along those lines where I feel like I can play it without
getting without.
Plus, there's some power shit going on in here.
I mean, it looks like it could be fun.
I don't know. I think it looks
Storm
pretty cool.
Divers. No, I was thinking Storm Divers. Those are the guys from. Those are the flying ladies from Earth Defense Force. Nope, those are the Wing Divers.
Yeah. Not to be confused with the Hell Divers from Super Earth
or the Holy Diver.
Yes. And last but not least, we're finally to the end.
Fucking marathon.
Shenmue 3 got a release date, August 27, 2019. We got a trailer. The game world looks good. The faces still look kind of bad.
They look like they just straight ported the faces from the previous 2 games.
The problem I'm having is that the main character's face doesn't look like anybody else's face. He has this very smooth, his eyes are too close together, his nose looks dumb, and he's a completely smooth face.
Right.
Everybody else has detail and wrinkles and shadows, and this guy looks like he's got a piece of paper with 2 dots and a smiley face drawn on it.
I saw some concept art for Shenmue, and I really like the way the concept art looks. It's got that late 90s kind of manga vibe to it, but that cool, Blade of the Immortal kind of vibe to it, or I guess I don't know. That's a bad example, but it just looks
marionette puppets.
No, that's another one. That's another, but
like here's the bad guy for the first game.
Yeah,
his face has like shadow and depth and detail on it, and here's the lady.
Yeah,
and her face has shadow and depth and detail, and every time they show Dude Bro's face, it's just like.
It's like he's wearing a mask.
It's like a rectangle with two raisins on it.
It was almost like they were worried if they changed his face at all, people wouldn't recognize him.
Yeah,
because he looks
like a cartoon.
His eyes are way too close together.
Yeah, and so okay, now I will say that in previous trailers, they had this kind of problem where they said, we haven't done any of the like facial animation for any of the characters.
Oh, so they did address that. Because I remember fucking laughing when I saw the first Shenmue 3 trailer and thinking, like, seriously?
I think it was the second one where they said that they hadn't done that part yet, which I believe at the time my response was, well, then why the fuck did you make a trailer where you made a trailer with like a third of your assets for your characters missing and an important third at that? Somebody
could have some investor or something could have, maybe that was one of their Kickstarter, because it was a Kickstarter, right?
Yes.
Maybe they promised to their Kickstarters that they we'll have a trailer at X date. I don't know.
Oh, it's possible.
Yeah,
possible. All I know is that I don't know. It also seems like the stuff that they're talking about in this trailer is very much like the stuff that happened in Shenmue 1 and 2, which
I guess he never found the guy. He never got to take revenge for his father or whatever.
Which, okay, I'd like to just take a brief sideline here to say that it's one thing if Shenmue 1 came out right now and I played it, and I got to the end of it, and dude didn't find the dude what killed his dad. But, like, the fact that the dude what killed his dad is bopping around in this trailer for Shenmue 3, which isn't even out until next year, are you telling me that after playing 25 hours of the HD version of Shenmue 1, he's not going to get revenge for his father? And are you telling me that after playing another 25 hours of Shenmue 2, he's not going to have revenge for his father?
Well, I mean, that's why people must have been asking for Shenmue 3 this whole time.
I suppose so.
It's like, what happened to the story?
I would like to finish by asking you this question that I posed to somebody on YouTube. If that is the case, then why don't I just watch somebody on YouTube who's probably made a recap video for Shenmue 1 and 2 that is about 12 minutes long and doesn't require me to spend 50 hours playing an old Dreamcast game in order to find out that the dude hadn't caught the dude would sidekicked his dad to death in game number 1.
I don't know, man.
Oh, look, they're stuck about the purple wind again.
They're saying the same shit. Okay, yeah. It's, hey, guess what?
Yeah.
If you played this game back when it came out, and if you're excited that they're finally going to finish the saga, great, happy for you. And maybe, I'm sure we'll play it on the dojo.
Sure.
And I guarantee you, they're going to have. It may not be exactly like the first one. It may not be exactly like the second one, but it's going to be you walking around a neighborhood in the first hour of the game.
Yeah.
And you're going to be talking to a lot of people, and they're going to be telling you the same, to go to this place and do this thing.
All I gotta say is, at least in the second game, you're talking to a lady on a motorcycle with her tits out, and you get in a fist fight, and then you gotta chase a kid. So
chasing kids is fun.
Do that,
especially when you kick them.
All right, we had a few things here towards the end, just to wrap things up.
All right.
So we did indeed get an August 2019 release date for Shenmue 3. So even if you are excited, it's another year basically from now. I'll tell you what you're not going to be getting in 2019, and that is a new Assassin's Creed game.
Oh.
So they're releasing Assassin's Creed Odyssey this year, and then apparently we're going to be doing DLC expansions and whatnot.
Oh, okay.
Into 2000.
Well, honestly, that doesn't surprise me.
And 20.
It surprises me from the standpoint that oh my god, haven't they been putting them out consistently?
No.
Oh.
They took a year off before Origins came out, and I'm really more interested in them putting one out every other year, because when they put one out every year, I had no time to look forward to it and just got fatigued.
Sure.
Right.
I mean, yeah. All right. Well, I don't play them, so
fair enough.
So, but I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe it'll mean we'll get a better one.
Yep.
In 2 years.
Hard left turn here.
Whoa.
I don't normally report on this, but we got NPD numbers for the last month, which are the sales numbers.
Oh, okay.
And number one on that, excluding any kind of digital sales, is Octopath Traveler.
Hey, good for them.
So, and I'd like to bring this up, as I'm sure a lot of people are probably going to basically say, remember, kind viewer, that every time some stupid fucking jackass from EA decides to tell you that single-player games are dead and nobody wants to play single-player games, don't have a million DLCs, Octopath Traveler is number one.
Yep.
Number 3 is Mario Kart 8. Mm-hmm. Number 4 is the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy somehow. Number 5 is Breath of the Wild.
Still.
So,
2.5 goddamn years later.
Like, if you look at this whole list, going down the list, it's Octopath Traveler, Grand Theft Auto 5.
Still selling.
Inexplicably. Mario Kart 8, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Far Cry 5, Super Mario Odyssey, The Crew 2, strangely.
Okay.
Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, Mario Tennis Aces, FIFA 18, Lego Incredibles, God of War 2018, Capto Treasure Tracker, and then we kind of keep going down from there.
But flabbity.
But it's worth noting that of the things that I just listed to you, Octopath Traveler, Mario Kart 8, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, and Mario Tennis Aces are all games that are just like standalone single-player, play them, have some fun games. So when those jackasses...
Mario Kart 8 is a multiplayer, though.
Okay, Mario Kart 8 can be multiplayer, but it also... Yeah, you are correct. I'll take Mario Kart 8 out of there.
But yeah.
But in any case, just remember... like they keep trying to voice this narrative. It's not because it's true. It's because the game industry wants it to be true,
right?
So that they can get you playing online all the time.
They want you to play online. They want you to buy DLC. They want it's the whole games as services as opposed to just games thing. And don't listen to them, kids. They're not your friends.
It's true.
They just want your money.
Too true.
Yep.
Speaking of people who want your money and deserve to have it.
Oh, boy.
Guess what's coming out on the Nintendo Switch, Matt?
Oh, I don't know.
Saints Row the Third?
Really?
Yes.
On the Switch?
Really. Yes. Yes, really. On the Switch. So...
Is that the one with the aliens, or is that the one after that?
That's the one after that.
Ah.
Saints Row the Third is where you're all movie stars and rock gods.
Huh.
It's the one that had the trailer with Power by Kanye West where you're parachuting into the high-rise apartment and shooting everybody. It starts with a bank robbery where you all have Johnny Gat masks on, except for Johnny Gat, who's just Johnny Gat because fuck it.
He's Johnny Gat, yeah.
Right. So,
and people are getting selfies with you and stuff, and...
I think, yes.
Yeah.
It's a strange one.
Because Don't Want to Close My Eyes was the one after that. Saints Row, the 4th one.
Was that how that one starts?
Yeah, because then you land in the president's office and you're declared president.
Oh, right, because you're so badass that they make you president.
Right,
yes.
and then
aliens come down.
Yeah, but who's your vice president? It's like
Keith David?
But it's literally Keith David. It's Vice President Keith David.
Yes.
Which I would make Keith David my vice president
if
I was president. So, yeah.
In any case, that's a bold move.
Interesting.
I'm hoping it pays off for him. So.
I hope so too.
And last but not least, just a little funzo. Hey, do you have free time?
No.
I know the answer. I'm talking to the audience out there.
They don't.
Do you have free time? Are you looking for 1 million years of entertainment to fill up your free time with? Well, if I got a deal for you, it's absolutely free. You know how Twitch has been putting stuff on Twitch? They showed like all Bob Ross on Twitch.
Oh, yeah.
They just marathoned all the Bob Ross. I think they did a Power Rangers marathon or something like that.
They did.
Well, so Twitch is going to be airing pretty much every episode of Pokemon and the movies.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
This is going to be starting on August 27th. It's not going to be all of them, but apparently because the show is still going and they don't have all of them. But Here, I tell you what, we haven't wasted enough time.
Oh my God.
Pokemon Indigo League, Pokemon Adventures of Orange Island, Pokemon The Johto Journeys, Pokemon Johto League Champions, Pokemon Master Quest, Pokemon Advance Challenge, Pokemon Advance Battle, Pokemon Battle Frontier, Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, Pokemon Diamond and Pearl Battle Dimensions, Pokemon Diamond and Pearl Galactic Battles, Pokemon Diamond and Pearl Sinnoh League Victors, Pokemon Black and White, Pokemon Black and White Rival Destinies, Pokemon Black and White Adventures in Unova and Beyond, Pokemon The Series XY, Pokemon The Series XY Kalos Quest, and Pokemon The Series XYZ. And that just covers the series. Also,
oh God,
the first movie, the movie 2000, Pokemon 3, the movie, Lucario and the Temple of Mew, Ranger and the Temple of the Sea, The Rise of Darkrai, Giratina and the Sky Warrior, Arius and the Jewel of Life, Zoroark, Master of Illusions, Pokemon the movie Black, Victini and Ratium, and Pokemon the movie White, Victini and Zekrom, Kyurem versus the Sword of Justice, Genesect and the Legend Awakens, Dianacy and the Cocoon of Destruction, Hoopla and the Clash of the Ages. I don't know what that's all about.
I went and I got a sandwich.
Volcanion and the Mechanical Marvel.
He's still going.
So
Jesus of Christ. No, I literally got up and like walked out of the room for a second.
Yeah. My mics are too good, so you're dramatic.
I know.
I was reading Pokemon names, and they couldn't hear the door close. So
damn it, I keep forgetting that. Yeah. But a
lot of Pokemon.
I used to be really into Pokemon back when it first fucking came out.
Sure.
Because I was a child, and I was like, it's this new thing from Japan. I remember back when you couldn't get Pokemon merch. You had to go to your local GameStop and hope that they had imported some action figures from Japan or something, and they had all their Japanese branding, like the names were all different. Like, he's not Ash, he's Satoshi. Okay. Or Charizard is Lizardon or whatever. And now we have this shit. I have no idea what. I don't know what's going on. I guess Ash is still the main character. He hasn't aged, which is weird. I bet everyone's going to be very happy about this.
I guess all I'm saying is, if you find yourself without anything to do and you're bored, maybe pop your phone out, pop up in that Twitch app, watch yourself a little Pokemon, see what all the fuss is about.
In fairness, I'm really sad I missed the Power Rangers marathon. And God knows there's way more Power Rangers. God, excuse me. There's way more Power Rangers than there is Pokemon.
Right.
But still, though, I didn't even know there were that many series.
I didn't either. But then I have not been paying attention to the Pokemans.
The man pokes.
Yeah. All right. We are going to answer one question because I asked for questions and I got like 20 emails. So I'm going to just ask one question.
One whole question?
mail@ragetalk.com is the one email address. Michael writes in and says, Dear Jeff and Matt, I have been replaying Pokemon Yellow, and I've been thinking, why did I like this back in the day? It wasn't bad, but there are definitely some frustrating things about it, such as the huge jumps in levels between gyms and training your Pokemon being tedious as hell. What are some examples that you've had of going back to a game and saying, why did I like this in the first place?
Oh, boy.
And that's from Michael.
That's a really interesting question, actually, because, oh, man, I got to think about that.
I'm trying not to, I have a bad habit sometimes of just like not being able to answer questions when people write them in, because I feel like the stuff that, wait a minute, hold on. Sorry.
Okay.
Somebody just emailed me to suggest Darker Than Black, even though I'm pretty sure that I said on a podcast that I don't like that show.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I looked at my email and saw in bold the words Darker Than Black.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so games that you go back to that you liked before and you don't like anymore. See, here's the thing. If I really liked a game back in the old days, I feel like if it's a short game, then I don't have to worry as much about that. If it's a long game, I don't ever go back and play it. So I have difficulty with this question because I think that most of the games that I liked back in the old days, I could still make a case for going back to now and be like, no, it holds up. Like I was thinking about this because I was talking with somebody on YouTube about the Shenmue that we had.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I was about to bring up Shenmue,
and it's the idea. See, but I never played that, so I don't have any.
I'm just saying as an example of like nostalgia being a major factor in your enjoyment of a game.
Like, I think that if I was to try to go back and play like Grand Theft Auto Vice City, I'd probably hate it. But the thing is that I don't ever go backwards. Like, I don't go back to play. I'll go back and play like Dark Souls, but Dark Souls isn't exactly like an old game. I mean, it's kind of old. It's 2012.
I there haven't been very many games. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, that's all right.
There haven't been very many games that have gone back to and have actively disliked that I used to play. I do start seeing the flaws in games. Like, for example, Ocarina of Time is an excellent example of like I can obviously see why I liked the game. I can see why I liked anything back when I was a kid. Because it did X, Y, or Z, and it did something that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
But like, I replayed Ocarina of Time when I got it on the 3DS, and I remember thinking like, oh yeah, like I'm not really feeling the immersion at certain points because this room is just this soulless puzzle room that, like, where I'm just like, this feels like it's just wasting my time. And or an example of it happening as soon as I was finished with the game was Skyward Sword. I mean, I Lord knows I shit on Skyward Sword a lot, and it's because while I was playing it, I was actively tricking myself into thinking I was liking the game, and then as soon as the game was done, I was like, oh my God, Jason and Jeff and Corey were exactly correct. This game is...
Those two did not review that game, which involves marathoning through it in 3 days, which requires standing in the middle of your living room, waving your arms around, and before anybody starts, you just go wave your arms around for 6 hours straight in your living room. Okay, so you're Mr. T or you're The Rock and you're fit, whatever. I'm a flabby game man and wave my arms around for 6 hours. It tires me out.
Yep. That's fair. I mean, so those are the first two that come to mind. I'm trying to think.
I guess here's where I'm coming from is that a lot of my classic games are from the NES, SNES era, and so they tend to hold up relatively well because of the sprites. Like, there was some early computer games that I'm sure probably wouldn't hold up if I went back to them, and some early, like, PS1, early PS2 era games that I'm sure would not hold up if I went back to them, but I would never go back to them. Like, I don't think that Battle Arena Toshinden is going to hold up, so I'd rather just remain it in my head as like I remember that game being okay, and then just like go on with my life instead of being like, oh my God, what was I thinking? You know?
Well, yeah, I mean, I pulled up, I downloaded Legend of Dragoon, fairly recently from the PlayStation Network, and I was playing it, and I was like, oh man, you know, I love this game. But it's got that thing that I just wanted to experience the story again. I didn't want to have to go through and play the fucking...
the actual game?
I didn't want to play the actual game. I didn't want to have to go through the grinding and like the running around the wilderness. I just wanted to go through these cool set pieces they had, even though the graphics are, you know, super limited and PlayStation 1 era stuff. But, you know, your imagination filled in a lot of the gaps. And, but that thing that I said.
Yeah. It's difficult, but I see. I guess, and again, just to restate it one more time for all the people in the back who aren't listening, it's, to me, in a lot of ways, it comes down to why would I ever go back and play? I mean, like, I'll go back and play like my top 5 games of all time.
Yeah,
but I would never go back and play anything below. Or maybe the top 50 games I've ever played, but I would never go back to play like some mid-tier game that I had a vague fond memory of. Most of the stuff that I really like holds up. Either that or maybe I'm braced for, like, I know, like, I went back when it was on they put out the PSP version of original Final Fantasy with like the big sprites.
Oh yeah,
really beautiful big sprites.
Sure.
And I remember playing that, and I was like, oh yeah, this game is nowhere near as good as I remember. But I was kind of ready for that, and it was like, but it also isn't very difficult, so I kind of just powered my way through it and was ready to go. I don't know.
I feel like there's a precedent for going back and trying old games, like I actually would love to give the old Onimusha games a crack again, but at the same time, I'm thinking about the tank controls, especially in the first two, and just like, ugh. And or whatever.
Maybe. I mean,
I had never actually played the original Dino Crisis. And I downloaded it. I started playing it, and I'm like, eh. Then I started watching some videos of it, and I'm like, okay, I can see why people liked this back when it came out, because it was basically a dinosaur survival horror game with this kind of Resident Evil vibe to it. But there's limited enemies. Like, it's mostly you're either running from raptors or the T-Rex,
right?
And the environments are super soulless, and there's not a whole lot going on. So anyway,
Well, there's also some games that are on that list that I would love to play, but I'm not going to play a bad version of them. Like, I really would like to play Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. I never played it, but like I like the versions of it. I think there's like a GameCube version, and then there's like a Dreamcast. I mean, I got to play Code Veronica as well, but there just aren't very good cleaned up versions. And in a part of my mind, I'm like, you know what? I haven't finished Octopath Traveler or Persona 5 yet. I'd like to play Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, but I think I'll just play Octopath Traveler until I finish it. And then when I finish that, I can finish Persona 5. And I finish that, I finish Dead Cells or whatever, just like the big list that I've got.
And you're also the kind of person who you're always, like you said, you're always looking forward, and you're always playing what's the new hotness. Like, actually, as I've been
that's not to say that like this week Guacamelee 2 came out. I haven't even played it because I'm waiting to play it with Amanda, which spoiler alert for next week's Monday Tuesday dojos. But then, this week also we got 7 Million Humans, which is the latest game from the guy that made that game where you burn stuff. Jason didn't like, that I did like. We played it really early. I don't ever remember the name of it. But we also got that Pizza Titan Ultra game, which turned out to be I didn't like it.
Oh, really?
It was kind of bad.
Okay.
But Death's Gambit still a thing. And then next week we have okay, so we are recording this on the 24th at 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
All right. Today, or on the 28th, which is next Tuesday, which is when new games come out, we have Yakuza Kiwami 2. First off, Yakuza Kiwami 2.
Jesus.
That was another reason where I was thinking the last week. I know we're kind of rambling here towards the end and dragging this out a little bit, but when I was thinking oh my God, why the fuck would you ever play Shenmue when you could be playing Yakuza Kiwami 2? but that's just me. That's just me.
Yeah.
Strange Brigade, which is the 4-person co-op Left 4 Dead thing in an Egyptian tomb that's being made by the guys who made Sniper Elite.
Yeah.
DE Blob 2 is coming out on the Switch. Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, the Japanese Monster Hunter, is coming out on the Switch.
Yeah.
Donut Country, which you probably don't know, it's basically Katamari Damacy, but you've got a hole that you move around and dunk things in the hole.
Okay.
It looks absolutely incredible. As well as, there's the Far Cry 5 DLC is coming out, and that's me leaving out a bunch of other games, and that's just for Tuesday.
Jesus.
2 Point Hospital, which was basically a theme hospital game that they announced at the PC Game Conference. It looks amazing, is coming out. There's all of these things that are coming out, and that's not to mention the shit that came out this week. We're not even playing all this shit that came out this week. There's a game called the King's Bird that looks like a little platformer that's on Steam that looks great. There's so many games out there that you could be playing that are amazing that I'm like, why would you ever want to go back and try playing a game that may or may not be amazing?
Yeah, I was gonna say, and that's a really good point. Is that why play? Yeah, I mean, I can understand wanting to go back and re-experience something. I mean, as I've said before, I've been playing. I had to stop, but I was playing a little bit of Breath of the Wild,
right?
And I'm playing it where I'm actually considering, because I got the Master Sword before I've done any of the major story stuff, and I'm actually having a little bit more fun. I mean, I've already done the story, so that's a major factor, but I'm having a little bit more fun just running around and doing stuff, doing little stuff.
Sure,
but I'm seriously considering just taking the Master Sword, because I have 13 hearts. Taking the Master Sword, just going straight for Ganon. Don't do any of that stuff. But the thing is, if you go straight for Ganon and you don't do any of the other story stuff, you have to fight all 4 of the bosses,
right?
And then fight Ganon at full health.
Yeah.
But if you've got the Master Sword, you know, you can cut through those bosses pretty quick.
Maybe.
So,
or you know, you could just go play a different video game.
I go play something different.
You go finish Bloodborne.
Yeah.
There you go. That's our show for this week. Matt, tell people where they can find you on the internet.
Oh, you know, you guys can find me pretty soon over at mattprogram.net, but in the meantime, you can search for Kaiju Samurai, Spankzilla85, and Mattzilla85. Those are all my names and all the things. I'm also pretty frequently over on oneofus.net. Haven't been there in a while, but, you know, you can go find me over there. I got a YouTube channel now. Just uploaded a video today of I gave Mayhem's Muse a present today, and I gave it to her at a Waffle House, so it's cute.
But you taped yourself giving her a present at a Waffle House?
Yeah.
Was it meth?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Anyway,
the only thing you should be giving somebody at a Waffle House.
No, it was a drawing. It was a drawing that a friend of mine made. So let me think. Also, Red Man Volume 1 just came out. I think it's actually might already be available on Amazon and BarnesandNobles.com. Interestingly, so
Strange.
So go check that out. And that's all I got.
Okay, mail at rageselect.com is the email address to send your questions in. We are going to have a lot of questions because I asked for questions and then we answered precisely one question this week. So thanks to everybody who wrote in. I'm going to try to get you questions next week, and we'll see you next time.